Hello there, very good morning to you. Welcome along to our little show on Sewing Street this morning. We're going to be live with you on Sewing Street for the next 4 hours, and then we're handing over to Yarn Lane for a bit of knitting at the 12 o'clock show as well. So let us know. I'm on Facebook, so that's the Facebook TV page. So let us know where you are, what you're doing. You're still in bed this morning, crumbs from breakfast. You off on your way to work? What's happening? What are you sewing? What are your UFOs? Did you? We have with us this morning. We have Hannah producing, we have Jo directing, and we have Sallieann Harrison in the building, who's coming up at 9 o'clock as well. So that's our little team for today. Oh, and then we've got knitting as well, haven't we? Forgot who's coming. That's on a different channel, but it's still us later on. Okay, so that's the little team this morning that we have for you. So to have a nice Christmas. Did you get a new sewing machine? So come and communicate. What have you been up to? Got 45 of you there already, and not one comment. Oh, have we? Oh, I can't see comments. Hang on a minute. I'm going to go for do that, and then do that, and I do that, and still nothing happens. Oh, morning everybody that's there anyway. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Morning Morag. I had a lovely Christmas, thank you. I know you're on call till New Year, aren't you? I think I do. I need my Facebook fairy. So let's give you, while that's being sorted out, let's give you the details of the early bird that we have for you this morning. So early bird being, if you're new to us this morning, oh hello if you are, a special offer that we bring you for the course of the day or while we have the stock. So we're talking about Gutermann thread. It's something that I bash on a bit about using quality threads. Gutermann is one of my favourite threads to use because your seams are going to be stronger, they're going to last longer, and it's going to be an absolute pleasure to work with, not giving you lint build up inside your sewing machine, which is really important. And I love the whole rainbow of threads, but with this part particularly, you have the variegated thread, but it matches the plain, which I think is a great idea. So you've got something that you can do top stitching or maybe a bit of embroidery. Variegated thread works very, very well with the free motion embroidery, or if you're quilting, you could have a really lovely effect with the variegated, but then you've got the plain as well, or twin needle sewing. So you could have one in the variegated and then the matching one in the plain thread as well. So definitely for bag making, top stitching around your flaps and your pockets, definitely for dressmaking, and well, it doesn't really matter what you're using with these at all. Now, these are 100% polyester. Polyester isn't like polyester we remember from years ago, so it's not shiny, but polyester is recommended if you're going to be sewing something like a jersey fabric or a stretch fabric because it's very, very strong and it does have a little bit of give in it. Being polyester, it's not going to lose its colour at all. Do you know why? Do you know why sometimes cotton and natural fabrics can lose colour in the wash, but polyester doesn't? Shall we have a bit of a textile lesson? When the threads are dyed, cotton threads dyed from the outside, so it's soaked in the dye and it's left to dry and all of that kind of thing, so the dye's from the outside in. With polyester, it's heated up to such a degree that the fibres of the polyester open up and the dyes go on the inside. Then when it cools down, the polyester wraps back around it again. So the dye is actually on the inside of the thread, so it can't get out anyway. So there you go. Most cottons these days are colour fast anyway. But you know, that's why polyester's colour fast. Each one of these threads has 70 metres on there, and you are getting 20 of those in total. Oh, Marilyn's watching me on the big screen again. Oh no, I don't like these big screens, you know. I'd rather you watch me on the phone, if you don't mind. Because you don't see me wrinkles so much. So the price that we have for you is £39.99. So each one of those is less than £2 a spool. I would happily pay £3 a spool for those and feel like I'd got a bargain there as well. We've been having a shop around though, and Hannah's been finding some great prices for you actually. So this is a sale at £2.55. That is brilliant, isn't it? It's not as brilliant as what we're doing though. £1.99 a spool, ours is working out at. Oh, multi-buy those as well, if you can. because threads are consumable, isn't it? Something that we're all going to be selling out, using up one day. Suzanne's just woken up. She's watching with one eye. You know, you can't focus with one eye, Sally. So, oh, Alison's driving in the snow to pick up fabric. Morning, Sue. Morning, Sam. Morning, Carol. Morning, Dee. Dee's still in bed. Monday morning, 8:05, and you're still in bed. What you like? I suppose it's a bank holiday. Jenny's still in bed. Alex is going to make another. You are a sport lady, Jenny Harris. Morning, Anne. She says morning to everybody there. Christine's on my bottom, apparently. I think that means she's down here somewhere. What does Christine say? Oh, morning, Debbie. She's in a dressing gown. That's from Christine. Was it a Christmas dressing gown? So I know it's Monday morning, and I'm not normally here on a Monday morning, but rules still apply, okay? So no housework this morning. You're not allowed. Actually, I've got 2 Leslies in the naughty corner. I've been there for a fortnight. I keep forgetting to let them out. But I think they can just stay there. No housework this morning. We're all thinking and talking about sewing, and then a bit of knitting later on as well. Right, everything that we have for you on the show is now on pre-order. Oh, it's like straightening pictures, isn't it? It's got to be straight. So we have in this hour lots and lots of pre-cut fabrics and felts. And in the next hour, shall we have a look at what we're doing today? Because I can't remember. So we have stash builders. Oh, now we're collectors these days. We're adding to our collection. At 9 o'clock, it's Quilt-As-You-Go tote bag, and Sallieann's going to be here for that. We've got Quilting Tools at 10 o'clock this morning, and then the Creative Grids. Creative Cat's Cradle with Sallieann again at 11 o'clock. And then we have hand-dyed shawls at 12 o'clock this morning. Eyes really aren't what they were. So that's coming up. If you're shopping with us and you'd like to order on the website, this is what you're going to find. So click on your watch live, and there we are, look. Have you got your cuppa ready as well? And then if you have a look down, that's everything that we've got for you. We've got some really nice fabrics, actually. I mean, I'm saying like we don't normally, but we do. But a very nice selection of fabrics, and all pre-cuts. So, oh, and then that's the tools, look. Ooh. So, yep, got lots coming up for you this morning. Oh, now then, that stitch remover. I've got 20 of those. Haven't got very many of those, and we did sell out of them the other day apparently, but Hannah producer kind of hid some of them, so you could have a look at them today. So if you want to order that, you can do that right now. So any questions, any comments? Well, in fact, you could email us as well. It's studio@sewingstreet.com. So again, if you want to share a picture, or you want anything demonstrating, or have a look at something again, or if you've got a little bit of gossip, you know, we're up for anything like that this morning. Or you can go to Facebook, that's where I am, so I'll be able to see messages straight away there. And that's Sewing Street TV. So I'm not on the fans page, I'm on that one, Sewing Street TV. So come and say hello this morning. Okay, these are the pre-cuts that we've got for you. These are the Marisol. Only been on once before. I'm opening them. Because you've got to see what you're buying, haven't you? Leaving it all wrapped up in pretty ribbon. Aren't these lovely colours? Come and have a look at this. It looks like hand-painted fabric. I say it could have been originally, you never know. So beautiful colours. You know, I'm thinking, I'm over Christmas now. So I'm thinking springtime and summertime and making things for the garden. This would be lovely for anything in the kitchen. So maybe a little apron, because you do the front of an apron out of one of these fat quarters, and then maybe a contrasting pocket on the front as well. I think that would be lovely. And of course, if you're quilting, there is nothing better than a pre-cut pack, because you know that everything in the pack is going to mix and match perfectly. So then we've got this one. This is a nice one. It's almost touching on camouflage, this one, I think. And we've got greens and blues and pale greens in there as well. Oh, so I'm having jokes in my ear. Jokes are supposed to be funny. I said it was camouflage like, and Joe says, well, I can't see it. Because it's camouflage like. I told you. Right, moving on. I'm going to be in trouble now. He's going to send me out of focus or something. I know it's going to happen. This is quite tropical, isn't it? And again, so we've got the blues, we've got the greens, and the golden. Oh, told you! Actually, I don't mind being a little bit fuzzy. It's like in the old days where they used to put Vaseline on the lens to make you look a little bit out of focus and softer. Then, we do have this by the half metre as well if you wanted more. Hannah was saying to make a nice wall hanging, wouldn't it? Something to really brighten up the day. So, I mean, just some of these in an embroidery hoop on the wall. I just think they're uplifting and they're fun and they're bright and they're bold and they're interesting. What are you going to make with them? When you look at the fabric like this, what springs to mind that you're going to make? There's loads in here, isn't there? So you've got the same as the green, but this time in the oranges and the pinks. So all storage for around your sewing room maybe, so you can make in boxes and maybe little bowls out of this. And I'll have to fold all these back up again in a minute. So little flowers. So if you're quilting, you probably use all of these together. And if you're not, you've just got a lot of fabric. That goes so nicely with that one, doesn't it? You're getting all of them. So I'm not getting new messages on here. I'm stuck on Heather. I don't mind being stuck on Heather, you know. Not Can we have a few messages on my bottom? Alison's coming across my bottom, look. Can't see what she says. Morning, Debbie. Managed to drag myself out of bed just in time. Oh, it's all right. You know, there are lots of people are watching in bed anyway. Why am I not refreshing on this or anything? Morning, Wendy. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, I've got to go back a bit now. So I've got, morning, Pauline. Morning, Fiona. Looking forward to today's show. Don't want to show the video. Kirsty's late. She's been sorting out a cat fight. Morning, Kath. Morning, Alan. Morning, Amanda. I did have a good Christmas. Thank you very much. She's chilling out today. Aston Villa this evening. Hi, Andy. Hope you had a nice Christmas and got lots of nice presents. Do you know, we didn't do prezzies this year. And then the kids ended up buying us prezzies. And we hadn't bought them prezzies because we weren't doing prezzies. And it was my son's idea not to do prezzies in the first place. And then he bought me a prezzie. So it's just for the kids. I said, Joe, I haven't done Christmas cards for years and nobody seems to have noticed. Can't remember the last time I sent a card. We haven't finished with this pile of fabric yet. So we've got, I'll do it a bit quicker, shall I? We've got the diamonds, which reminds me of a harlequin kind of thing. And we have, love that, the florals. And then, now I'm stuck on Andy now. Andy, I'm stuck on you. And then again, that looks like a wash of watercolour, doesn't it? And then more diamonds. And then more florals. So how many of those have we got all together? There's loads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There can't be 11. 1, 2, is there 11? 3, 4, 5, yeah. 11 fat quarters you have there for your £49 and 99 is your price for those. So if I go down there and back again, oh, I have to do that. I have to come off you and come back again. So I've got Sue now. Hello. Snowing in Worcester. Now Sallieann's come from that direction this morning and she had a bit of trouble in the snow. And Ellen's in bed this morning. May as well stay there. It's not very nice up at the moment. So, you know, when you're driving in the dark and the snow's just flying at you like that, that's what it was like this morning. It wasn't very nice. So nice when it's settled, isn't it? It stops snowing and we can go and build snowmen and stuff. But okay, so that is your first bundle. We also have a rather large cake. Been seeing a lot of that over the last few days. Black Porch, me and my sister designs. Now this is for Moda, so I'm not going to open it all up because we'll be here all day and I was going to do a bit of sewing. So we've got, again, just really nice bright colours. I like that one. And there's a couple of those. Little ditzy flowers. And the nice thing with the layer cakes like this is you get even more fabrics, even more designs. And these are really decent sizes as well, no matter what you're going to do with them. Look at the little ladybirds and the dash lines. More flowers, and then the blues. I'm flicking through those quite quickly, but you get the idea. You can see the palette of print and colours that we have there for you. That's £31.99. And you've got 42 pieces altogether. Not many of those left. Those are selling really quickly already. In fact, we're down to the last 7. So if you wanted to get hold of those, you need to be rather sharpish and quick for that one. Oh, now then, from layer cakes to what do we actually call these? These are 2.5-inch squares. I don't know what we call them. I think they're just called 2.5-inch charm packs, aren't they? You have seen this one before. So, a little tiny one. And if you think, what on earth am I going to do with that? If you're English paper piecing, these would be an ideal size if you're making up to 2-inch hexagons. If you're making half square triangles, would be nice with these as well. Love the colours on those, like rusty. So £6.99 for those, and we have the 42 of those all together. Absolutely, 42 2.5-inch squares for your £6.99. And then, oh, Mary's down there, look, morning. Lovely fabric colours, lovely fabrics, lovely colours. Thank you. I can't actually see a thing on the screen, to be honest. So I'm hearing all this in my ear. So if I get it a little bit wrong, I'm blaming Joe. So apricot and ash, this one, brand new for you today. I'm going to open this one because I'm going to use it anyway. So, not sewing with the cardboard. And then, oh, but you could use the cardboard to make a template for your EPP pieces, could you not? So I've got to do a check. And, oh, the berries, look. Yeah, we're moving into springtime in our minds now. Nice, fresh, bright colour. Oh, the grey goes really well with those as well, doesn't it? That looks like ticking. Really pretty. There. So again, you've got 42 pieces in total. Really delicate, aren't they? Is that upside down? Yes, it is. No, love the greens. But they're nice and fresh and spring-like, and oh, I'm thinking the crocuses coming in the garden and snowflakes. And the majority of you ordering these are multi-buying, by the way. So just to warn you, if people start multi-buying, then stock's going to disappear twice as fast in it. Okay, that's £6.99. I'll be doing a little something with that shortly. I might use that one actually. Yeah, I might use that one. I'll open that one as well. I don't think they're going to be going back in the packet very well. So we'll do something with this one. So these are nice rich colours, aren't they? Again, you've got 42 pieces, so there's lots more underneath there as well. We don't need to take you through all of them. There you go, you get the idea. And again, that's £6.99. We've got 98 of you this morning. See, I'm stuck on Ellen now. And it seems to be no matter what I do, I'm stuck on Ellen. Oh, not to worry. Right, so that's that one. And so pop that there. What should we have a look at next? We have design rolls. So we've got Riley Blake, Zoology. What's that one? Got so many of them. That's the Idyllic. And that one's Zoology. It's a jungle out there. Okay, so this is what what it says. There's a jungle out there. This is what you have. So in the pack, oh look, you will have 2.5-inch strips, and is there 42 of those? I've got a sticker over the label. And just really nice colours as well. It's called Zoology, but a little bit of an animal print kind of thing going on. Oh, apparently there is a coordinating range that comes with animals, but this one doesn't. So just kind of abstract designs, aren't they, on this one? These would make a really lovely quilt, wouldn't they? Or if you're doing a jelly roll race or something like that, because it is Moda. Or I'm sure if you've already got a stash of jelly rolls and fabric strips and whatever you call them, you're going to find lots of colours in here that'll mix and match really well. So, and on-trend colours. We like to be on trend here at Sewing Street. Gosh, there's loads of them. I love the greys again with the lines on. And then you've got the black and the white as well. Not finished yet. Oh, snow in Wolverhampton apparently. Very snowy in Wolverhampton. What's going on with this then? Because I'm still stuck on Ellen. Still stuck on Ellen. Ah, I'm on Jill now. Hi Jill, morning Pat, morning Deb, she says, don't seem to have had a break. I haven't actually, I've been working every day and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm not complaining, I've enjoyed all your shows. Thank you very much. Yes, Jill, I had a lovely Christmas, thank you very much. I spent most of it with you lot. Carol's there as well. I haven't done cards at Christmas for a while this year. I've adopted a donkey and sponsored a dog called Barry at the Dogs Trust. Oh, Margaret, thank you very much. Oh, Glenys. Oh, I hope you're going to be okay soon. Samantha's having her breakfast while she's watching. Like to know what you're up to. No snow in Belper this morning. So I don't mind the snow. It's the sleet and the slush, and then and I love the snow when it's on the ground. But then when you go and tread in it, it's all icy underneath. I don't like that. That makes me a bit worried about walking in it. But it's nice to be indoors when it's nice and cosy and warm, and you're looking out on crisp white snow, isn't it? That's the best time to have snow, when you don't have to go anywhere in it. Anyway, £31.99 for those ones. And we have one more to show. That's an awful lot of fabric, isn't it? What are you going to make with that? One more to show you here, which I'm going to open. So this is the Riley Blake. That'd be fine, but okay, so this is one that I'm going to open. This is the Riley Blake. Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. I only made a little hole in the plastic on that one. So if you get the one with the hole on it and you stick that on eBay, you might get an extra couple of quid on it. look at how much you get. I'd love to see how they cut these, wouldn't you? They must come in a big long sausage and then just chop them all up like they do a stick of rock. Oh, top tip from Hannah. Before you unroll them, if you take a little vacuum cleaner and just go around those, it'll take all of the fluff off them. That's a good idea. Too late, unrolled, going to get covered in fluff. Oh, look at the little birds. Oh, these are really pretty, aren't they sweet? Now, these are kind of English country cottage garden to me. Well, apart from that one. Oh, that's got a bit of sewing theme going on, look. So, inspired by, oh, you know, the little boutiques. I don't know if I said before, when, I don't know if it's still there, I'm going back a long, long time, but I was in St Ives in Cornwall on holiday, and I saw a little kind of gift shop with the best name for a shop that I'd ever seen, and I haven't seen it since. And it was called Sally's Slap Cabbage. I just thought it's brilliant. If I had a shop, I want to call it Sally's Slap Cabbage. But this this kind of reminds me of those little boutique-y knick-knack kind of stores. The flower, I love the outlines and the bright white backgrounds, and they're just really crisp and clean. Love the little birds as well. Are they birds? No, they're flowers, aren't they? Are they birds? I'm going with birds. Candy stripes. I mean, nice binding actually. And more outlines of flowers and the reds. So again, in here you will have 40 pieces, each 2.5 inches wide. What a lovely selection. Is that going to be your New Year's treat? What's your New Year's resolution? Do we have any yet? A lot of people are going to be to keep my sewing room tidy, to use up my stash before I build up my stash. What's yours going to be? What's your resolution? Joe didn't go out enough last year, and this year, I don't think it's going to change for a while yet, Joe. Hannah wants to go to festivals, not going to happen. Oh, and what kind of club do you want to go to? A dance club, that's not going to happen, not for a while yet. You'll have to Zoom class. So yeah, let me know what New Year's resolution did you make earlier on this year, and did you stick to it? And what you're thinking about for next year then? Oh, nothing up in Carnoustie in Scotland. You're normally the first to get snow up there, aren't you? Oh, Jill, it's nice to have your company as well and have a bit of a chat. Morning, Sue. Hope I had a great Christmas. I did, thank you. So nice to have you in my lounge. I'm in a lot of bedrooms, you know, Sue, apparently. I know. So that's your Riley Blake. I hope I'm not in the bathroom. Do people have TVs in their bathrooms? Is that a thing? We were watching TV the other night, and there was an advert on for an amazing shower that had got Bluetooth and it had got flashing lights for light. How long do people spend in a shower to be able to listen to music? I'm kind of in and out. That's neat, isn't it? So soak in the bath, yeah, but in the bath. So I'd love to see how these are made, because it's not like that, is it? Oh, is that Gillian? Good evening, Gillian. Lost all your comments. Oh no, here we are. From Bendigo, Victoria. Where's that then? Should we Google it? Morning, Helen. She's in Hillsborough, County Down. Morning to you too. Faye's setting up a new craft room. Moving house on the 11th of January. Gosh, we're busy. Oh, you're in Australia. Oh, Gillian, sorry about that. I've not heard of that before. So you're in summer now, aren't you? You've got lots of sunshine out there. What's your weather like? Did you spend? Oh no, you couldn't have gatherings this year, could you? Or could you? 17 degrees Celsius apparently in Victoria now. South winds at 13 miles an hour. And 37 degrees humidity. That's the weather forecast for Victoria in Australia. Now these are quite unusual as well. Free Spirit Hexi Pack. So these are a nice size actually, because to sew with the sewing machine. You know your Y seams that can be quite fiddly. It's nice to have a big hexagon because they're going to be easier to sew. But of course you can use these for your English paper piecing as well. And all I'd do is trim down 1/4 inch off the back of that and use that as a template to cut out of paper. And this is what's in the pack. So we've got spots and pandas. Oh look, oh that's going to send your eyes funny, isn't it? And stripes, hexagons on your hexes. That's part of a skunk apparently. I've just been told I've got a skunk's bum. Thanks, Hannah. That does actually have stars on it, I don't know if you can see. They're like little, really pretty. More hexagons. And what else have we got? Oh, that looks like wood, doesn't it? Skunk tail. Any more of this skunk? We've got peacocks. That's pretty. More spots. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's a swallow, isn't it? And oh, that's the front end. They could probably join those together somehow. That works. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Helen's in New Zealand. Good morning, Helen. What is it? Is it morning over? Oh, there's the skunk. Look. Oh. Skunk face, not skunk bum. Jill's resolution last year was to make the most of her Christmas presents, which I did, and it'll be the same resolution this year to finish a quilt for myself. Hello from New Zealand, says Helen. It's 9:30 on Monday night. No snow in Essex, says Bonnie. And Louisa, morning. New to sewing, and my son got me a walking foot for my sewing machine. I need to work out how to attach it first. Well, you will need to, you know how your foot on your sewing machine snaps on and off, so you press a lever or a button at the back and it drops off. You'll need to take that off and then take off the ankle, which is the bit that holds the foot on. So there'll be a screwdriver in your sewing machine kit. Unscrew that bit, don't lose it because they're difficult to get replacements. And then your walking foot will screw back on in the same place, but it's got a little bit that looks like a lobster claw on the side of it or on the top of it. That needs to go around the screw that holds your needle in place. So it might be a bit fiddly the first time you do it, but basically the screw on that holds the needle in place, the needle clamp, when the needle goes up and down, it makes the walking foot jump up and down as well. You'll know if it's not on there because you won't be sewing, and it'll make an awful clunking noise. But that's the way that it works, and what a thoughtful son you have for buying you one. Oh, right. We have, now if you're new to sewing, we have some very affordable fat quarters for you, which I could get up off my bum, but I didn't. And these are they. Now they're a 4-piece. The nice thing with a fat quarter pack like this is that they're all going to match. So even fabrics that you might not have thought go together do. These have been specifically designed to match each other. And look, they're just £6.99. That is a very affordable price. They are 100% cotton. That's less than £2 a fat quarter. Expect to pay upwards of £3.50, £4.50, £6, depending on the brand of fabric that you're using. So for that price, it's very, very good. So if you're patchworking and quilting for the very first time, these are a great place to start. It actually means for £6.99 you've got a whole metre of fabric. Which is again such a really, really good price, and they're very pretty colours. They go together really well. I would suggest that you go for a plain, maybe just one plain with each one of these. That makes your stash go further, and it also means that you're not putting two prints next to each other that might argue a little bit. It breaks them up and makes them stand out a little bit more. So with this one you could go white, maybe a yellow if you want something really bold, or a complete contrast. What about a teal fabric? Or the darker orange, because in this one you've got lots and lots of colours you can kind of pick out. Green would work really well as well with that one. So that's £6.99 for your yellow patchwork 4-piece kit. And then we have the black one, This is striking. Now this looks very designer fabric, I think. And again, it's only £6.99. So we've got your little roses and flowers, the stripe, the check, and then the black and white. So contrasting, I wouldn't go for a black, I think that'd be a bit too dull. I'd go for the pink, but there's different shades of pink in there as well. So you could choose practically any shade of soft pink, not a cerise, and I think that would work really well with those. But again, a whole metre of fabric for £6.99. So consider the size of that. If you're going to chop it up and put it back together again, which is what patchworkers tend to do, you could probably create a lap quilt with those 4 pieces. You could make a couple of small cushion covers, maybe 12-inch square cushion covers. You could be making pin cushions, quite a few when you think about the amount of fabric that you have. But these are such a great starting piece. And it's so nice to have, again, the selection of fabric that are designed to go together. It can be really difficult. Actually, it's difficult, I find, even going into a fabric store and you just see shelves and shelves and shelves of amazing fabric, to pick that one out and then does that one go? Does that one go? Sometimes there's just too much choice, so there's no choice at all. And I think it may be even more difficult online if you go onto a fabric shop or even onto the sewing street and you're trying to pick out fabrics that match. They're not always exactly the same colour as they look on screen when you get them home, but at least you know when you've got a matching pack like these, any of the packs, that they are going to match because they're all using the same dyes and they've been designed at the same time. Let's move on. The green one. That's a nice rich colour as well, isn't it? Really lovely classic colours you've got on there. Shall we open it and have a look? Oh, now it's 3:32 in the USA, North Carolina, Bridget. Woke up and now can't sleep, but I'm glad you're on. 3:32 over here, Bridget, is when I get up to come here. Thereabouts. Oh, hi, Alex. Bought Jenny Harrison things for stocking fillers. Oh, don't worry, we'll sort it out. I'll have a look and we'll sort it out. Marilyn says, Gillian, oh, talking to each other. I love that. Yeah. I love it when you have conversations between each other. Patricia wants to do more free motion embroidery. Have a look at these then. Really classic colours. Really traditional. Again, you've got a bit of freshness, I think, with it's like a pea green, isn't it, or apple green, with the stripe and with the little ditzy flowers. But I think, you know, with the stripes look really nice if you cut them on the bias and use them as bias binding. So if you're making a smaller cushion, you kind of get that effect around the edge of it. I'm saying a smaller cushion, but there again, with a fat quarter, you can actually get quite a lot of bias binding out of it when you cut in diagonal lines. But I think that's a really nice finish. Or for using piping, particularly on cushions. And that doesn't have to be around the edge. It could be straight across the centre. And it also means that when you've got two busy fabrics, if you were to do that, one blends into the other and you kind of lose it a little bit. It's almost like you're wasting the pattern. But when you add just a small little border of something plainer in between, then both of those now stand out, don't they? Because you don't have to use them all together. You think, I'm going to make a cushion cover front out of this one and another one out of that one, and then those two I'm going to make a little bag or a pouch or a makeup bag with a contrasting lining. Then you do what you like with them. They're your fabrics, you do what you want with them, whatever takes your fancy. So again, you've got 4 of those for just £6.99, which I think is, again, amazing value. Really rich classic colours for those. Right, so we've got 3 more of these to show you. So should we do the pinky coloured one while I try and get that back in again? Really busy for the pink one. Not surprised. So we've got the same print actually there, isn't it, Ben? In a different colour. This isn't working. So really deep red in the background and pretty pinks on the top, and then you've got delicate flowers on pale pink, tiny little flowers, and then you've got the candy stripe there as well for your £6.99. And again, all 100% cotton, a metre of fabric in total for £6.99. Great value for money. A couple more. We have the pale blues. Oh, that pink's going to sell out, by the way. If you want it, then order that now, please. Little flowers there, and the check, and the flowers. Oh, snow's settling outside here in Redditch, apparently. Quite fast. Am I going to be snowed in at the studios? So £6.99 is your price there. Might have to set up a camp bed in the corner of the studio somewhere. Okay. Oh, there is a camp bed in the corner of the studio. Next up, we've got another red, but it's a different shade of red with this one. Although, can do that one. They do go well together, actually. Not with the red one, not with the pink. Goes with that one though. So again, we have florals and the checks and the small flowers, and then just 3 colours in that one. That's really pretty as well. Again, for just £6.99. That goes really well. Alan's got hummingbird fabric apparently. That will go, oh yes, he says that'll go really well with the hummingbird fabrics. That's a nice idea. I'll do this. Hi Sue in Queensland. What's it like with you down there? Oh, she says it's very warm. I'd love to spend a warm Christmas. I'd like to spend a Christmas in somewhere like Jamaica and listen to jingle bells on kettle drums. Love to do that. Okay. We've got time to demo stuff, haven't we? Oh, we've got 20 minutes to demo. Right. I might have to stand up. Or I could just move my stool back. So I'm going to use some of these tiny little squares. You might have seen, you know, when I've used Quilter's Grid before now to create square patchwork. I'm going to do it but with interfacing this time. Measure that, and yep, that's fine. So it does need to be iron on. So let's just chop this there. Like so. Nice scissors, have to say. Coming up later. And then on the back of this, I'm going to draw a grid. So shiny side's the top, that's the back. So let's have a ruler. Oops. Chosen the most difficult one. And some kind of pen that doesn't erase with heat. So I'll just do a little bit, and I think we'll just do one side, and then we'll try and find another piece of fabric that matches the other for the other side. We can make just a little bag out of this. So I'm going to draw those squares are 2.5 inches, so I'm going to draw 2.5-inch squares across here. So I've used Quilter's Grid to do this before. That's right, isn't it? Yep. But the Quilter's Grid takes me to 2 inches, not to 2.5. So, and we haven't got any anyway, but you know. So let's do this. I can see that, yeah, I need to see through it. So I'm doing quite bold lines. So let's turn this over. I shan't do a big section because we'll be here all day. So I want to make sure that's nice and square. 2.5. Nice thick line. I think I've got my iron on. I'll double check that. So again, just 2.5 inches, like so. That will do. So we'll have the ironing board and turn that over. So I've got my shiny side up and I've got my iron there. And then I'm just going to arrange some of these in a jaunty manner, but just so that I don't have two exactly the same next to each other. So let's line these all up. That can go there. They're not stuck down at this point, so I can rearrange if I think that it's not how I want it to be. Oh, I could do darks in diagonals, couldn't I? That'd look good. And then a light, that's the same. That will do. And a stripe. And then one of those. And the dark. Oh, that's looking quite nice. I don't think I've got two the same yet, have I? That doesn't matter if they're overlapping a little bit. So again, just iron on interfacing this one. I've drawn, what have I done there? I've drawn the grid on that. There we go. But you could do the same with the fat quarters. You could do the same with your design roll strips. Or any little bits of leftover fabrics you've got in your stash, really. Not used that one yet. And we'll have that one there. And then we'll iron it. So I'm being careful not to get the iron on the edge of the fabric. So I'll just get the centre bit stuck down there. And then we'll cut it out. Nice scissors these. Do you know, I thought it was a bit odd having a tape measure stuck to them. I thought I'm not going to cut properly with those, but it actually works really well. Right. So I'm just sticking this down at the edge again. That started lifting up a little bit. So while I'm doing that, morning Sue. Oh, said hello to Sue, haven't I? 6:30 on a very warm day. Hi Alex, drawing in the lines on the interfacing works well for this. And it's easy to fold in straight lines too. Lovely. Morning Pauline. She has no snow. Don't mind. She's, don't mind. Oh yeah, getting to work on the train in the snow is not going to be much fun, is it? In fact, a train's running at the moment. I suppose it depends where you are. I don't know. I don't know. Right, again, I'm just going to stick that down over the edge. Morning, Jill. Heavy rain in Devon. Very dark and miserable. Going to stay in bed for a bit and watch Sewing Street. Another one in bed, you see. Counting down to my holiday in Australia. Good luck with that one. Same for Joe and Kat, hoping to go to Australia. When are you going, Joe? Is it April? Yeah. Hopefully it'll be okay. Right. So let's just do that and then we'll sew them together. So again, I really want these to be well and truly stuck down. So let's turn the temperature up a bit. I made a Christmas stocking in this very manner. Oh, Linda overslept this morning. The heating's packed up. Oh no. We normally have the heating pack up in the winter time every year. I've had the kitchen pack up this year. Right, I think that'll do. That's enough ironing. I could do a little blast from the back. And then we get the sewing machine up. Yeah, let's see if these machines can bounce. And then I'm going to fold down the line in between the two pieces, in between the squares. So literally, it folds really easily because it's almost kind of been hinged. So that goes there and then just fold like that. And then we're going to sew 1/4 inch or thereabouts, as long as it's the same in each one, all the way down the fold. And then we'll do the same with the second line. So again, just along that line that I drew on the back, fold it And so. I love this technique. I want to have a play with rectangles at some point. But it's quite nice if you wanted to make tiny, tiny little patchwork squares and you cut this down, or say cut them in half and then did it, you end up with a tiny little patchwork, but perfect points on every single square. So it looks really, really complicated. So it's quite clear what's going on here, but when you've got those tiny squares, it really does look impressive. And it looks time consuming. The most time-consuming thing is actually sticking these down, and you saw how quick that was. So imagine if these were half the size or a quarter of the size. That would make a really impressive little quilt, wouldn't it? If you have been making makeup bags, this could be the panel in the front of a tote bag. Just fold it in half and put a zip on it. I haven't got a zip with me, so we can't do that now. I did make a Christmas stocking using, but the thing is you get hooked on it. And you can use up such tiny pieces of fabric when you're making it. Right, have a press with that one. So I'm just going to press those seams all in the same direction, because that's going to make it easier to sew from the other way. Down that way. And then we're going to go just the same in the opposite direction. And then I would put this on top of a piece of wadding, or H640 or something like that, and maybe diagonally quilt it, or you could echo quilt. That'll take you a while, but that would look very impressive. Fancy stitches on your sewing machine. Oh, while I'm just doing this, have a look at the bag that Georgina made using this technique. Oh, that's gorgeous. It actually looks like the fabric's printed like that, doesn't it? That is gorgeous. Happy New Year to you too, Georgina. Thought you might like to see this bag I made using the quilted squares, using one of my patterns. That is amazing, thank you. Good choice of fabric as well. Really nice. Oh, any more pictures? You can email them in, remember, it's studio@sewingstreet.com. If you want to send us an email, it'd be nice to hear from you. Right. So again, I'm just using 1 point on the foot, so I'm not measuring 1/4 of an inch exactly, just as long as the seam allowance is the same, because otherwise your squares won't end up being squares. Let's fold that down. And because I press the seams all in the same direction, it makes it easier to sew over when we go this way. So over the lumpy bits. And then we'll iron that. Like so. Was that Esther? Esther's machine isn't sewing in a straight line. Now, Esther, it might not be the machine. You know, I don't want to, you know, but you know, it could be you. If it's not, what machine have you got? And whatever machine it is, get in touch with the manufacturers. If it's an Elmer, sorry, or one of the machines that you brought from us, then Elna will be able to help you out there, I'm sure. So, oh, here we go. So that one. So I'm just going to trim this down now. Every time. So I'm just trimming off the, oops. Well, that's not right, is it? Is that right? That's better. So again, I'm just trimming off the the zigzaggy bits from the end and making this square, because sometimes things don't stay square even though you think you're sewing them square, do they? And then was that on Facebook? Oh, that's not. I'll have a look in a minute because I need to refresh. See, that's gone quite wonky there, isn't it? So Julie says, thank you for giving up your time over the Christmas period. It's been appreciated more than you realise. Thank you, Julie. I really appreciate that as well. I had a really nice time, actually. It was really fun. Pam's got snow, watching on the iPad because Sky's not working. It's snowing in Harmer Hill, says Jen. I think we're up to date then. Right. Do you know, we would have had quite a quiet Christmas this year anyway, like most of us would have done. And I think having the kind of technology that we have these days, which enables it, because I would have, I'm just squaring that a bit more. I would have been sewing all day because that's what I do. And it's just so nice to be able to sew all day with mates, isn't it? If not in the same room, then Facebook, YouTube, Zooms, FaceTimes. Okay, so I've only got a few minutes left, but that's the idea. The facing on the back doesn't need to come off, that's still quite soft, so I can still put that on the top of some wadding and quilt it. You don't have to quilt it, but I think it creates a really lovely effect if you do. I'd do diagonal lines straight across here through each one of the squares personally, but because this is squares and structured, you may prefer to just do a few squiggly lines and soften it a little bit. But a nice little technique, I think. Naomi's been having a go. Made a box using the same technique. It was easy to do and very effective. That is very effective, isn't it? And they get, oh, have you used some tiny squares for that, or was that a jelly roll? Because they match perfectly, don't they? Thank you, Naomi. Now we've got a couple of tiny squares. So those are the red ones, and that is just a small selection. These are very close to selling out now, but you get all of that. You've got plenty enough to make 2 or 3 times that size. Or you can go for the brand new ones today. So these are gorgeous. These are spring, aren't they? Nice and bright and fresh, and they're all Moda as well. I love the greys on that. I think these colour combinations is really classy when you've got the grey, but then with a little bit of softness behind it as well. And that's a nice colour grey. It's a warm grey, so it's not all stark and cold. Really, really pretty little pack. So again, we've got lots more in the show, but have a look on the website because we've run out of time in this one now. So I need to go and replace that cold coffee. So go and put the kettle on yourself as well, and we'll see you again with Sallieann in about 2 or 3 minutes time.
Hi, I've been asked to do a little bit of an introduction about me, so here goes for Sewing Street. I'm Sallieann Harrison. I'm based in the UK in Bristol. I lived here all my life apart from a short stint in North Carolina where I lived for 3 years from 2000 to 2003. I specialise in patchwork and quilting. I'm a complete patchwork and quilting addict. I love small piecing, I love wool applique, all forms of applique, and I also like making small little crafty projects. How did I get into sewing? Well, I've sewn all my life. I remember the first thing I ever made was like a little bikini top from one of my mother's old overalls when I was about 9. I got married when I was about 20, 21 and started making curtains at that time. So I was a curtain maker for a long period of time. But it was in 2000 when I moved to the US that I really got into quilting big time. I discovered a local patchwork and quilting store. I took classes. I made loads of quilts. I made some fantastic friends. I met a great tutor called Michelle May. And by the time I left, I was actually beginning to exhibit in 2003. So that's how I got into doing what I do. Tell us something unexpected about yourself. Well, one of the strange things about me is that I'm the world's worst knitter. I can do most crafts. I crochet, I do punch needle, I do obviously patchwork and quilting and dressmaking, but knitting, the pins go in all sorts of weird directions. I have to concentrate. If anybody rings the doorbell, I can't stop mid-row. I am the world's worst knitter. Sewing tips to share with viewers. It's got to be the beard trimmer trick. I mean, why use an unpicker when you can use a beard trimmer to take out the seams that you've sewn incorrectly? It's just the best tip ever, I reckon. And a claim to fame. Probably my claim to fame based on my sewing career was that in 2017 I was invited to the Houston Quilt Festival, the International Quilt Festival, and it was there that I demonstrated some wool applique. It was a fantastic experience, and if anyone's debating going to the International Quilt Festival next year, go. It is absolutely fabulous. And that's a bit about me. Thank you very much for listening.
Hello there, welcome back again. Got myself a cuppa. Are you all set for the next hour? We're going to be doing a little bit of quilting as you go with Sallieann Harris in just a second. And we've put some bundles together for you as well. So shall we have a look first of all with... Where's the actual bag? Oh, right next to me then. The bundle that we have to make the bag that the sample's made out of. Love these colours. Very similar, aren't they, to the little flowers that we saw in the fat quarter pack earlier on. But we have put this bundle together for you, and it does include the Quilt-As-You-Go pattern as well. So this is the Quilt-As-You-Go pattern. If you haven't seen anything like this before, it is a pattern, but it is wadding as well, because the templates are printed onto the wadding. So, well, Salliann's going to explain this later on, but it just means that you're going to get some really accurate patchwork pieces very, very easily as well. Included in the kit, you have your instructions, you have your wadding, which is pre-printed. These are all numbered for you as well to make it easier. You've got your strapping to make the handle out of as well. And then you've got the whole bundle of fabric to make it too for £34.99. Sewing by numbers with Quilting As You Go, but it gives you, particularly if you're new, it gives you a very accurate finish to your flying geese on this one, isn't it? And it's a nice size of bag as well. You've got a really decent size, a finished tote bag, so it's going to be plenty big enough to take shopping with you. So again, £34.99. Should we have a look at the fabrics as well, or just a storage, in your workroom, on the back of your door, on the back of your chair, somewhere to keep your rulers. So, because we're not going to be going to craft classes for a while, are we? So, it might be somewhere to help organise your sewing room, or a pretty shopping bag. Again, you've got lots of room inside here, so you could easily take that to the supermarket and fill it full of stuff. Save you buying bags and advertising your supermarket there, isn't it? And makes a nice gift idea as well. So these are all of the fabrics that we put together in the bundle for you. So you've got your fat quarter sets there. And remember your wadding and your pattern and your webbing is all included for your £34.99. And quite a lot of backing fabric or lining fabric with that one as well. You get a metre of that included. This one is gorgeous. This is a collection that Sallieann's going to be demonstrating with. So just to show you again, the amount of fabric that you have in here is vast. Aren't they lovely colours? So that's your backing fabric, so you've got a metre there. This one's quite cloudy, it's a blender, but it's not just a plain colour. And then you have the lilac small spot, the lilac large spot, these are all fat quarters. This one looks like dandelion clocks to me, and the purple. And then you've got that gorgeous heather colour with little roses on it as well. And of course, your wadding, your instructions and your webbing all included for your £34.99. And then finally, we've got these ones. So grey backing fabric with this one, and this time you've got a panel, which is this. Oh, these are nice colours. I'm kind of thinking you're getting more than you need here, aren't you? So quite soft colours, and you've got all of these long quarters. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's quite a bit of white at the end of that one as well. For £34.99 for that one. Nice soft colours in it. A completely different look, isn't it, to the others? So. Yeah, it's all grey and miserable. Well, it's not, it's white and miserable outside at the moment here. So I think it's quite nice to have something fresh and spring-like and bright and maybe a little bit more uplifting to work with at the moment. Just a few messages before we go over to Sallieann. Faye says, are there any sewing rulers that aren't clear, as I have visual issues seeing with clear ones unless the writing is yellow? There are some clear ones that have yellow and black, but I can't remember the name of them. The ones that we have are all clear. Janome do a ruler with pink on it, but Alpha do it's not opaque, is it? It's like a not quite see-through kind of finish to it. So that might be one for you, but we don't have any, I'm afraid, here. Are we up to date there before we move on? Because I'll shut up for a bit then. Morning, Alex. Yeah, all up to date there. Okay, well, it's rude not to say hello when you've taken the time and trouble, isn't it? On a cold and frosty Monday morning. Nearly didn't make it, did you, Sallieann?
I know, it was crazy on the motorway. Absolutely crazy, yeah. There's loads of snow coming down from sort of Gloucester upwards. So, you know, up north.
Because I was looking at the weather reports last week, it wasn't forecast until tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I must admit, we did look last night. We looked about 8 o'clock last night and it said it might start with a 50% chance around 5 o'clock.
Oh.
So I must admit, I got my husband to drive. And as we were getting closer and closer, it was getting worse and worse. I was thinking, oh, thank goodness he's driving.
I don't like driving in the snow when it's flying at you.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And then there was an accident as well. A couple of ambulances and all the rest of it. That was about junction 4 this morning.
Quite frightening, isn't it?
So I'm feeling a bit, oh, I made it.
Well, you're here now. Did you have a lovely Christmas?
Yes, thank you, I did, yeah.
What did you do?
Just a quiet Christmas with the family, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Like most people, I expect, a smaller Christmas than usual. Although we did go round to my mum's and we stood in the garden and sang some carols for her.
Oh,
but we didn't
lovely.
go in. Yeah.
Oh,
That was nice.
So anyway, let's get on with the work in progress.
Quilt-As-You-Go.
Is it easy?
It's very easy, very straightforward. And the fun bit is that you create the patchwork and do the quilting at the same time, which is rather cool.
So I think a lot of people, when they're beginning patchwork as well, it's those things like lining up the points, and it can be a little bit daunting, can't it?
It can be. Whereas this is all like you said, it's almost like painting by numbers. It's quilting by numbers and patchwork by numbers. And all the instructions are in the package. There's obviously the picture on the front to guide you as you go through.
So do you need to cut the pieces to their exact sizes before you start sewing?
Yes.
And that's all explained, obviously.
Yeah, that's all explained. The cutting out is explained.
Okay.
you do it piece by piece, and it tells you the exact size for each piece by number. So you can design how you're going to use your fabrics. So on that one that's right next to you, there's like a zigzag effect.
Yes.
But it is flying geese, like you said, so it all depends on how you sort of place the fabric. So you can create the flying geese or a zigzaggy sort of effect.
Okay.
So I've started this one off, and to start it off, you've just got to cut out all the pieces. So there's some straps as well. This is the main bag body, about 1/2 inch from the blue lines all the way around. And then I've attached the back. I just used some 505.
Okay.
I was thinking, well, if someone's going to say to me, can you use basting pins? I'm thinking, you could, but then you've got the worry that you could hit the basting pins whilst you're...
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we don't have 505 in stock at the moment, so watch out for that one coming back. I'm sure it will be. But I find that easier.
Yeah. I can't think that there's another way. I suppose you could tack it if you really wanted to do just a few tacky lines through it.
Yeah.
So I have started this one off. So the idea is that I'm going to try and complete, this will be one side of the bag, put the sides on, hopefully get it to look like a bag shape, and then talk about the binding and the straps.
Okay.
Okay, so I've started this one off. So I've already worked all the way down to here. So now this is the base of the bag here. So I'm going to start working up this way.
Oh, so it folds.
Yeah, so it's going to end up, so that's going to be inside, and it's going to end up like this.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Any advice on how you'd put colours together when you have there's a whole pile of fabric? How do you choose which goes next to which?
Tend to do different colours and different scales next to each other. So like this is like a more of a medium scale next to a smaller scale. Sort of play with scale as well as colour.
So it might be an idea maybe before you even cut into your fabric to just arrange them and see what goes well next to which one.
And also something I haven't mentioned, they do say about starching it. So best press or heavy spray starch.
Okay.
Well, when I say heavy spray, don't go, you don't want it rigid, but a light spray would be okay. Okay, so yeah, as I say, I've worked one way, I'm going to start working the other way. And the last piece, you just put a pin in. It's not a good idea to keep ironing it as you go. So you'd think that you'd put in a piece, iron it, put in the next piece, but it does actually warn you against doing that you could warp the batting.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is the batting or wadding. I never know which is the American term.
Batting's American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So here are the pre-cut pieces.
I think we're crossing over quite a lot now, though, aren't we? I've heard quite a few demonstrators saying that, I'm just going to baste this, which is the American term for tacking.
Right, so let me sort out my pieces. Get my glasses going. So I've got a walking foot on the machine, so if you've got a walking foot, I would definitely use it. So a walking foot will give you a better finish than an ordinary foot, an ordinary 1/4 inch foot. And this uses 1/4 inch seams throughout. And it actually, can you see it's got little blue marks to help you line it up?
Oh, right. Yeah. I never noticed that. Oh, yes.
So just going to put that piece in there.
It's very well thought out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
80% cotton and 20% polyester for your wadding. So that's nice quality as well, isn't it? Same kind of thing you'd use for quilting.
And I've got I think I've got this machine on a slightly bigger stitch. So I'm sewing a 1/4 inch seam with a walking foot with a slightly bigger stitch.
Right.
I can see that all this is going to go skating in a minute onto the floor. I'm not used to sewing such a big piece on the show. Right.
So what projects are you working on of your own at the moment? You got anything on the go?
I've got I'm doing that Dear Jane quilt.
Oh, is that from the book? And it was that's an amazing quilt.
Yes, I've got saying that I've done probably about a couple of rows, but I've got lots of people doing it with me. We're doing it as a group.
Oh, lovely.
So we've called it Lockdown Jane, and we're doing it together. Yeah, so it's really good. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is going to be I've put in 06. I think it's going to give me a 1/4 inch. Let's have a look. Looks like it.
Is a 1/4 inch seem like that's important?
Yes.
Right.
Because if you don't sew a 1/4 inch, I'm going to do a little reverse on this one, but I'll probably forget as I go along.
The purple bundle, by the way, that Salliann's using is very, very popular. We're heading towards the last 20. So lots of you with this in baskets at the moment. So can you check?
So as I say, you would do a little reverse on each one. I've done it on the first one, but I will probably forget as I go as I go on. Okay, that looks okay, doesn't it? 1/4 inch, and you can see that it will fit inside your blue lines. Can you see how it's just very slightly overlapping?
Yeah.
And then you'd put the pin in again, rather than press it.
Okay.
And we'll take a couple of these.
So it looks a bit like a flying geese, doesn't it?
It will do, yes. So I'm just gonna.
Now, we have brought you these bags before, so it'd be nice if anybody's made one.
Oh yes.
Yeah? Come and send some pictures in. Be nice to hear from you.
I wonder what people are doing today. If I was home, I would be sewing today.
Yeah, I would be actually. Got an apron to make. Yeah, so what are you doing at home? I know it's a bank holiday today, so even if a lot of you would be going to work, then you're probably not today. We have so many people in bed early in the morning, Sallieann.
In bed?
Having the breakfast, I know, having the breakfast in bed, yeah.
I was up at 5.
I couldn't stay in bed. If I'm awake, I'm up.
Yeah, I tend to be the same. I tend to be an early morning sewer. What about you?
Yeah.
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 I find that if I can sneak in an hour in the morning, it sort of sets me up for the day. It's like, I've done something that I really wanted to do and the house is peaceful and quiet.
Yeah.
And you sort of like, it almost feels like it's an indulgence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we've gone past winter solstice now, haven't we? So hopefully we'll be getting a little bit more daylight. Do you know, there's nothing nice. I'm normally up about 3:30 in the morning when I'm coming to Sewing Street. And in the summer, the birds are singing, it can be a sunny day, the sun's really low, and you just get that lovely orange haze in your rear view mirror when you're driving to it. And I love that. I love it being so quiet on the roads, and if I'm at home, that's me time, because nobody else, even the dog doesn't get up that early in the morning. And I love that quiet time. No TV on, no radio, no nothing, just sit and peacefully do a bit of sewing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something not right about getting up in the dark. So.
Always makes you feel like I'm going on holiday, but I mean, it's a bad word to say, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. Have you been able to cancel any plans?
Yes, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, quite a few plans this year cancelled. I was going to, we were going on a cruise from Venice. Knew that would happen.
Oh, I'd love to go to Venice. That's one of the ones on my wish list. Have you been before?
Once, but I was going to go this time with my boys. One's 27 and one's 23, and they were going to share a cabin when we were going to cruise out of Venice, and we cancelled it.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah.
On hold, though. You'll do it one day.
One day. One day it will happen.
My daughter is supposed to be a bridesmaid at her best friend's wedding this June in, was it May, in Italy. So of course that was cancelled, been rebooked for next year, but we just don't know, do we?
No, you just don't know. There you go. They're looking a little bit more like distinct flying geese rather than zigzags this time round. Let's carry on.
It's lovely fabric, this as well, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I
do like the colours.
Yeah, I like the colours as well. Really nice. So can you see, you can just about see the little points peeking out. So those are what you need to line things up with. So rather than, like this is overshot just slightly, so you need to go back to actually lining against the little blue markers that are everywhere. So it doesn't let you get into too much trouble.
It's almost like sewing a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it?
Yes. Somebody in a Facebook group, they had a quilt jigsaw I saw that they'd done on Christmas Day, and I thought, oh, that's a cool thing to do. Yeah, I hadn't seen a quilt jigsaw before.
Oh, it's behind you.
Oh, there you go then.
Is that the one? I've not seen that before.
No, I hadn't seen it before. 1,000 pieces. Oh.
Have a look at that. No, it's not in the show. This is purely self-indulgence. I was imagining a fabric jigsaw puzzle, as in it's made out of fabric, not a proper jigsaw puzzle. Oh, for goodness sake, how on earth could you do that? 1,000 pieces, and that's what you make. Oh, that's going to keep you busy for a while, isn't it? A jigsaw. It says a jigsaw puzzle for adults. That doesn't mean it's rude. You know, my mother would have loved this. She used to love doing jigsaw puzzles. She had quite a big table with one of those mats on that you roll up so you could put it out of the way without it falling into pieces. She would have been in an element with this one. Anyway, if you want to buy it, we do have it on the show now for £19.99. Must have a lot of patience to do that. Oh. Hannah, producer, did a jigsaw at Christmas time. It took her 20 minutes to complete 2 pieces.
2 pieces?
Even jigsaws for 2-year-olds have got more than 2 pieces. You know, with the little handles on the top. Was it one of those? With little handles on the wooden pieces? How did you start sewing, Sallieann? Who taught you?
I learned at school.
Did you?
Yeah, I learned at school.
So would it been dressmaking?
So it was dressmaking to start off with, yeah. And then after I left, so I did GCSE, and then when I left school, I started, well, I was sort of 17, 18, I started copying clothes. Well, I suppose you've done it, like copying stuff from Topshop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, copying little tops and little skirts and dresses. And then I had boys, unfortunately. Sorry, boys. So I couldn't make anything girly. So I ended up making loads of curtains then at that point after I got married. Loads and loads and loads of curtains. Oh, I hate making curtains. I really hate it.
Oh, I love making curtains.
The pieces are so big. It just goes on and on and on. It's like fighting a rhino, you know? Oh, gosh. And then it was when I went to live in the States that I discovered patchwork and quilting, because it's very big over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had a moment where I discovered a sort of a downtown quilt store, walked in and thought, yeah, this is what I want to do.
You've arrived.
This is what I want to do. Yeah.
See, I didn't when I was a teenager. I could sew, and I learnt from a very young age. But it was just, I don't know, it's just something I could do. It was, I wouldn't even call it a hobby until I had a house of my own, and then it was the soft furnishings and the curtains and blinds and things like that. And then when I had kids, like you said, there's not a lot you can do for boys, and at the time, I mean, my eldest is almost 40. They were like polyester dungarees you could buy, and there wasn't very many nice clothes. So I used to take things like a sweatshirt that I didn't wear anymore and completely reduce it down to an 18-month-old size. And
oh wow!
I'd cut down jeans and make smaller jeans out of them, complete with a little red tab Levi's label that I'd re-sewed back into little pockets on them. And it kind of, I don't know, reignited an interest in it. Sewing was always something that I thought everybody could do. It wasn't, your parents taught you how to cook, how to change your brake pads, and how to sew.
It was one of the, I wasn't good at loads of things at school, but I was okay at sewing, and you could tell from the point that people used to pass me their sewing under the desk. Pass it down to her, see if she can sort it out, rather than go up to the teacher and sort of stand in line. I'd get this little package under the desk to unpick and sort out and hand back.
Oh, I hope you were paid in sweets.
Right, we must be getting near the top now, so we can see the geese. Just wondering which bit went on the floor. We'll find out in a minute. Right, so this is the last piece at the top.
Right.
And you can just about see. So I'm trying to keep it within the blue lines all the time.
Seamless. Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
We're fine. I've got another message on my bottom. And it said, so I make us a quilt as a present for a friend, but gave her the jigsaw saying, make your own. But she is a jigsaw fanatic, so that's okay. Sent by Collector in Devon.
Okay.
I'd love to know how long it takes you to complete that quilt jigsaw. I don't think I'd have the patience to even start. Oh, Wendy's still in bed. Oh, you like Wendy? What time? Oh, it's nearly 9:30. But she did pop downstairs and put a stew on a slow cooker, so she deserves
that's a good idea, wouldn't it?
Are you going to stay there till it's cooked now then? Oh, mild weather in Victoria. People of Sydney and New South Wales are on restrictions. Yeah, I heard about that. Very long lockdown in Melbourne. Oh.
Did you find any good news in there?
Well, the stew, Wendy's stew sounds good, doesn't it? Have we got Wendy in her shed? I might have missed that one. Oh, Debbie's in her shed. And has been since 5:30 this morning, apparently.
When they say shed, do you mean like she shed?
Yes.
Do you reckon?
I hope so. Oh, there you go.
Either that or she's
got
doing
up at
some
5 this morning in my sewing shed.
Oh, right, okay. So
Got it nice and warm, got the telly on, watching Sewing Street and going to do some sewing. That's a perfect day, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't possess a she shed, do you?
She shed.
She shed. Do you?
I'd fancy. I have a studio.
Ah.
It's a big shed. But,
It's a big shed?
Yeah, I'll call it a studio because it sounds grand. I would love one of those, like the big gypsy caravans in the garden, and have that as a sewing area. Have you seen
Wow.
those?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be nice?
The
wouldn't it?
colour.
Yes.
See, that's
yeah.
what you're drawn to, isn't it? Like me, you're the colour junkie. It's like, oh,
Yes.
got to have more colour.
So where do you sew?
I've just got a little room at the front of my house where I sew. I used to do, I was doing lessons up until lockdown, but I haven't done any now since January.
Could you
last
Zoom
year.
them?
I could do, but I find that quite a few people don't want to.
Yeah.
They go, oh, that's all right, we'll wait till we can come round and see you again.
Yeah. So I think with a lot of classes, it's the being there and the being with people and the whole
Yes.
experience, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
learning to sew something.
So these are the side strips going in now. So we're getting there.
That looks so nice.
That's the colour purple, isn't it? It's just like, wow. It is, like you said, it's very spring. Well, no, it was the other one that you said was spring-like, but the purples are mauves.
Yeah, that one reminds me of heather. Lovely colours.
Yeah.
I had a message from Alex. So I'm having to refresh this every 2 seconds. Alex says, I really want a shed. I love sheds, she says. I love them. I'm thinking of squatting in Debbie's new shed. I've got squatters in my shed.
I reckon you need to add that to the things that you sell here. She sheds.
She sheds. Do you know, it would make a fortune.
You would.
We could do that.
And then you could, you know, off the back of that, you could do an expanding line, everything you need for your she shed.
Yes. Oh, you're onto something there. Patent that one, Sallieann.
Don't tell me it's going to go again. I knew I'd have trouble sewing something this big.
So what would you have in your she shed? Apart from the sewing machine and cutting
YouTube.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Access to YouTube for all those times that you get stuck and you have to look up a technique.
I might have a little smoothie bar in the corner.
Ooh, nice.
Or a cocktail bar, you know, depends what time of day you're sewing, doesn't it?
How are we doing for time?
Dunno. It's past, you've got loads of time.
Okay, that's all right. So I was conscious that I didn't want to bore people to tears, but on the other hand, I wanted to get the bag to look like a bag.
Yeah, it's nice to see it come together. And you're not boring, we're having a nice little chat. Shall I show you the other bundles? Because she's a bit boring, isn't it? So the one should we have a look at this one? This is the one that's made out of the red floral fabric. I love the brown spots on this as well. It's quite country looking, this one, isn't it? And you can see there the way that the pattern goes all the way around the bottom as well. But look how big it is. It's a huge bag. So everything that you need, so you've got your fat quarters, you have your metre of contrast fabric for the lining, and of course your pattern instructions, which comes with your wadding, your webbings inside there as well for the handles, and you've got a really nice big bag for £34.99. So that's everything that you're getting in that particular kit. And then we have the one with the panels. So this is all in, it's actually twice this size. I just not opening it all up. So you get an awful lot of fabric in there. I'm sure you're going to have enough left over to make a purse out of. So the greys and the soft greens and the pinks, really lovely soft colour palettes with this one. And you've got your plain fabric for lining or the inside of the bag, which is in the grey, and there's a metre of that as well. And the most popular one is the one that Sallieann's using. Well in the lead, which is this one. So right, we're heading towards less than 15 of these now, so really busy for those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fat quarters. They're big fat quarters. And you've got your metre of fabric included there as well. I can understand why you like that one. I think those colours are gorgeous. Okay, so if you had a shed in the garden that you were going to sew in, what would you have it in that? What would you have in there? Alex said it's not boring at all. This is a lovely demo of something I've not seen before. She says it's fascinating. Carol says I'm doing a was jig, 1,000 pieces, a jigsaw where you look at the picture on the box, and on this one you have to make the jigsaw as it would look 10 years in the future, so you don't have a finished picture to copy. Taking a while to do. I can't imagine. 1,000 pieces is a huge jigsaw. And wow. Yes, that's a punishment, not a hobby. Yes. So if that was a gift, somebody wants to keep you occupied for a few months, don't they? So this technique, Sallieann, and Alice was saying it's the first time she's seen anything like this. We've brought smaller projects like placemats and coasters and things like that. I think we do mug rugs and hugs and that kind of thing.
Yep.
Have you ever made a whole quilt out of something like this?
Once, I think. That was for sewing quarter.
Was it?
Yeah. That was like probably about a 45-inch square one.
Oh, wow.
I suppose there's a limit to the size. Yeah, well, but yes, I'm thinking about it. I mean, look at how I'm struggling a little bit with the size of this, but not, I would imagine you don't really want to go sort of 60, 80, it'd be far too big, wouldn't it? But, I mean, this is fine.
And would you quilt that when you finished it as well?
Well, you could add some extra quilting, they say that. I mean, obviously you've almost effectively in the ditch quilted it where you've joined the pieces together, but you could in the ditch over the top, couldn't you?
Yeah.
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 You could free motion it. You could do whatever you wanted, really.
We've got some pictures of sewing sheds coming through.
Ooh, I want one. My husband is watching in the green one. I would like one, please.
Alex says she'd love loads of sewing and craft stuff, a sofa, a small kitchen, a bathroom, a heater and a bed in my shed. You just want to move out into the shed, don't you, Alex? Delia's with us. Hello, Delia. 2 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing up at this hour in the morning? And she's in California, in USA. Hello to you. A small kitchen, a bath. Oh, we're going to have to beat a small kitchen, a bathroom, a heater and a bed in the shed.
Has anyone said they're going to have a bar?
No, I think a bar's a good idea. Yes, and a bar person.
But things can go awfully wrong though, can't they? I've done that before now, sort of, oh yeah, I'll just have a glass of wine and carry on with this, and then suddenly you realise you've sewn all the wrong pieces together, but you had fun doing it.
But you can't remember doing it anyway. Oh, now then, a sauna would be a good one. It's getting beyond the sewing shed there, though, isn't it? We've got a message on the bottom from Jane, and she said, my daughter's moving out at the end of the week, so I'm having her bedroom as my lady lair. Oh, you're starting a new career. Everything sewing, knitting and crochet. Lady
wow.
lair. I don't know what my husband would say. I told him I wanted a lady lair.
It does sound good, doesn't it? It sounds like I'm just going out to my lair. I wonder what people we actually wear in their sheds, though. Is it like pyjamas only, or do you have like a specific outfit?
Yeah, you she shed
It's
chic.
difficult to say, isn't it? You shed chic.
Norma's already got a wine fridge in her sewing
Wow!
room. Wonky are your stitches. It's funny, isn't it, when you talk about ideal things in people's houses, the amount of alcohol is suggested. Wilson Hedges Tracy, I think that was Tracy, says, I have a summer house with a hot tub, but I'm needing a bigger craft room. Just thinking, so you could incorporate your hot tub into a craft, maybe build over it so it's all part of it.
This sounds perfect, doesn't it?
Morning, Angie. Let's have a look at a couple of she sheds. Oh wow! Look at that!
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing. And whose is that, Leslie? Oh, that is a dream shed, Leslie. So happy I have this in my garden. I live in the ground floor, 1-bedroom maisonette. So I had this built in my garden. As in
It's
no room in the
lovely.
flat. Isn't that gorgeous?
And the little quilts outside and
Yeah.
the star quilt.
It looks like you're setting up for a photo shoot for an interiors magazine.
It
doesn't
does.
it? That's oh, you're putting my shed to shame. My shame shed. My shed of shame. Off you go to your shed of shame.
God, I want one even more now.
I'm going to call it a lady lair now. We have another lady lair. Oh, goodness.
Gosh.
That's huge. This is my she shed. My partner built it for me out of old pallets, really. And that's Shelley. That's amazing. Gosh, that's huge. Oh, talented people out there, aren't there?
Always strikes me as well how much people are actually organised. You know, you don't see a picture of them sort of like diving into a pile of pieces, or, you know, they've got it all organised. I must admit, it's incredible.
I like to be organised before I start sewing.
Oh, I do that. I organise myself thoroughly before I start, and then it all kicks off after I've started, and it's everywhere. It's just in the front room, it's in the lounge, there's bits of it in the kitchen, there's pieces everywhere, and then at the end, I clean it all back up again.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I won't be able to find anything.
Yeah, just the same.
Yeah. But I can't actually start something unless I feel like I know where everything is and it's in its place and I'm ready.
I had to get into a good habit doing that a few years ago. We had an English Bull Terrier that used to like to eat anything, any little scrap of anything that was left on the floor, he would eat it. I was sitting sewing one day and heard an almighty bang, and he'd actually chewed into a can of 505 spray.
Oh gosh.
Thankfully it exploded outwards, but it had a very gluey face for days afterwards. Just
Right, we have now made it all the way around.
coming together quickly, isn't it? And of course you've got the backing fabric on there, so you're lining it at the same
it's already
time.
lined, yeah. The other thing that I've seen done, which is a fun thing to do, have you ever seen people sewing sort of in a timed environment? So they've got like an hour to make a quilt and there's like a team of them.
No!
Yeah, I've seen it at Houston a couple of times. They do it as a sort of evening thing.
Oh.
And they've got like little groups of people, sort of 6 people in a room, 6 groups. And they've all given the same number of pieces and they sort of clang a bell and they've got an hour to get it done. They've got someone on the ironing board, a couple of sewing machines going. It is such good fun to watch.
And they make a complete quilt?
Yeah.
Well, not just a block, the quilt?
Sorry, the quilt top they'll make, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's like a timed thing and the gong goes and they have to run up and hold up as far as they've got. It's really fun.
Oh, they should do stuff like that on the sewing bee. You know?
Yeah.
It's all dressmaking on the sewing bee, isn't it? Should get a bit of quilting or bag making or something in there.
Okay.
So, sorry, Leslie's messaged in. So we've got morning. She said she's ordered the purple bag kit, which I used my present money to pay for, and now can't wait for it to arrive.
Okay.
With a Santa emoji.
Right, so now I need to cut it. So if you remember I said at the beginning, I cut it about ½ an inch away from the blue lines. You can just see the little blue lines are buried here. I need to cut it on the solid blue line all the way around.
Right.
Don't be tempted to cut it on the blue line to start off with because you can see, because it's got those extra points that give you clues.
Okay.
Just what I mean, if it was totally covered,
Yeah.
you'd have difficulty, but because it goes into that, you've got something to line up with. Okay, so let's get rid of that bag.
Oh, Delia says, happy to catch you live. Always watch your videos. You so. Oh, thank you, Delia.
Oh.
Appreciate you getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Violet says, how do you all sharpen your scissors, please? I know if they are done wrong and they're ruined. I would like my mum's and grand's dressmaking scissors sharpened so I can use them. I haven't tried it, to be honest, but they say if you cut through tin foil, that's supposed to help sharpen it, isn't it?
I've never tried it, but yeah, I've seen that as well.
Or sandpaper. I mean, to be honest, if it's a very special pair of scissors or an expensive pair of scissors, I would take it to a professional scissor sharpener and have them done, because they're going to last you for a long time. Jen wants a tour of my new studio. I need to tidy it still, Jenny. Laverne says, I font have shed. Oh, she doesn't have a shed, but she does have a caravan. I have my sewing machine and embroidery machine, lots of fabric and buttons and ribbons, etc. Books on display because my kettle, my radio, so no need to come indoors. I call it my happy place.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh. Who else have we got? Oh, Dawn says she's definitely got to wear a frou-frou outfit.
A frou-frou?
What's
a frou-frou outfit?
That came from, I don't know if she's watching today, a lady called Cher Crevu, and she messages me on my Facebook Lives every now and again, and I just thought, what a glamorous name. And when they came up with Cher Crevu, I just imagined this glamorous lady with her 1940s style satin robe on and matching furry kitten-heeled slippers, and I just said it's all very frou-frou. So we thought that might be a nice, you know, instead of wearing a craft apron, to wear something a little frou-frou when we're sewing. I did buy myself a pair of frou-frou slippers. I have got pink, furry trimmed kitten heel slippers that I wear especially for sewing.
Ooh.
I haven't got the satin gown yet. But. So yes, a little bit of frou-frou, Dawn, I think would be a jolly good idea. Frou-frou in my lady layer.
Right.
I've been sent to my shed of shame now. Are those our left-handed scissors you're using? Try those white ones with the tape measure in them.
I don't usually struggle this much with a pair of scissors. Which ones?
The ones at the front, the white ones, right in front of you. Not in those, in the box. Those ones. Try those. Okay. We've got them in the next show.
Ooh.
But they've got a tape measure incorporated, and I thought it was a gimmick, but I'm kind of falling in love with them.
Ooh. Yeah, they're good.
That's better.
Yeah, it's better than the left-handed ones. Much better. Oh, I quite like those. It's quite snazzy, isn't it?
Yeah. I did. The word that came out of my mouth when I first saw them was gimmick. But actually, because I thought the tape measure would get in the way. I thought, well, no, they didn't need a tape measure there. Tape measures are the one thing I've got loads of, but can never find one when I need one. So it's quite nice to have one in board, but that doesn't get in the way. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Okay.
I love that fabric. I think it's looking really good.
Okay, here we go. Right, the next step in the instructions, I've got bits on it. You can see how the zigzag as opposed to the geese.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Look to
Oh, it's nice to do both, isn't it? Have a different look on each side.
You could do, yeah.
Yeah.
In the instructions, it tells you to go all the way around the edge to secure it. So about, I don't know, an eighth in,
Right.
with some stay stitching, basting stitches to hold it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants and sew it together. You can also zigzag the edges, or use a serger.
You did that on this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Okay,
Or
so
you could put some binding on it. That would look nice, wouldn't it?
yeah, that would. I'm just going to sew them together so that we get the bag together. So you need a 1/2 inch seam. So you use 1/4 inch all the way through the patchwork, but when it comes to the side seams, it's a 1/2. Just going to try and stop them walking around a bit. But there's another setting on here for that.
So we've got about, how long have we got left? About 3 minutes.
Okay.
Loads of time. Did you have much fabric left over?
There we go. I've just broken the needle. Oh no.
Do you know?
That's the
happens all the
first
time,
time
doesn't
I've
it?
done that.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
if that ever happens to you at home, it's the noise that's a little bit alarming,
Yeah.
isn't it, when it hits the side of the foot? But have you got another needle? On its way. A twin needle.
It's a twin needle, but there's a topped one.
Oh,
I don't know if that's the correct one.
okay. Actually, because I've only got 3 minutes left, I'll talk you through the other
Okay.
pieces instead. So you would sew down either side, and then you would put in. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see.
Carol says she recognises that sound.
So you would put. So you've got to imagine that is your seam. So then you're going to make a seam this way across to create the sort of box at the bottom of your bag. Yeah? So it's going to sit something like this. Can you see where I'm going with that?
Yep.
Yep. So that would be your bag. The other bits that I haven't shown you, around the top of the bag, you would use some double fold binding. So this is just 2.5-inch strips. It tells you how to cut them, and you would sew them to the front with a 1/4-inch seam and then turn them over and over again to bind your edge.
That's a nice finish. And that doesn't need to be bias cut, does it?
No, this is just straight grain binding. But I mean, you could use 2.5, fold it in again, and then just machine sew it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go through that hand sewing. The straps are here. So the straps, there's two parts to the straps. You cut a 2.5-inch wide piece and a 2-inch wide piece, and then you've got batting straps as well. And the idea is that you glue your batting straps into the middle of your 2.5-inch strip and then fold in the sides. So you end up with something that looks like this. Okay?
Right.
And then with your 2-inch strip and your webbing that you get supplied, you do the same thing. Don't know if I've got an iron that's warm at all. Is it warm? Help it sit
It makes
down.
it quite a nice sturdy strap.
It does. It makes a really, I hadn't seen this done before, but it makes a really great strap. So if I can just iron it. There I was saved by the iron. Yep, so you've got one piece that looks like that. One piece. So you do exactly the same thing. Glue in the middle of your 2-inch strip, fold it in, and then this piece sits on top of this piece, which is kind of cool, really.
Yeah.
So you end up with something that looks like this, and then you would just simply top stitch down to make yourself almost like a double enforced bag handle.
Yeah, so it's nice and sturdy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You're going to be back again at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
What are we doing at 11?
We are doing the Creative Grid rulers.
Fabulous.
Cat's Cradle.
Cat's Cradle,
Yeah.
lovely. So do stay with us for the rest of the morning. We've got Quilting Tools coming up in the next hour. So you can, oh, actually, if you want to go for this purple bundle, could you please check out, we're down to single figures for this now, so it tends to get busy at the end of the show. So if you've got this in your basket, then do please proceed to check out as quickly as possible. Everything included, so there's your instructions and your wadding, which is already pre-printed, and your webbing, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fat quarters of coordinating fabrics, and you've got your lining fabric in the lilac as well. So that is £34.99. But do again check out your baskets if you plan to order, because it may well go out, it may well sell out very soon. This is the red bundle. With, you've got a cream lining in this one, so 1 metre of the cream, and then you've got your coordinating fat quarters as well for the £34.99, everything included. So that's it, that's what you're getting, pattern and everything. Lots of these in baskets at the moment again, so off you go. Go on, check out, we're done here now for 10 minutes or so. Message about the bottom. No, no. Across the bottom of the screen. And this is from, who's that? From Carrie. She says, morning both, Debbie. Check out Bombshell Boutique. Bombshell Boutique.
1940s what?
Frou-frou outfits.
Okay.
I shall, when I get round to it, I shall turn up here looking so glamorous, you know, feathers in my hair and everything. This is how I sew at home. In my lady lair. My shed of shame. Okay, are we done? Should we go? Should we have a break? Oh, last bundle, okay. But wasn't that a great name? Bombshell Boutique.
When you forget in a hurry.
It isn't, is it? It's like Sally Slap Cabbage. So these are long quarters. So these are in the greys and the greens and the pale pinks, and the backing fabric this time is cream. Sorry, it's a grey. And your wadding and everything included as well. I think we should just go to a break now. I think we should end this one. Again, check out your baskets if you've anything in there. Go and put the kettle on again, and we'll see you again in about 3 minutes' time.
Hi, I'm Sallieann Harrison. I just want to wish everybody at Sewing Street and Yarn Lane a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi everyone, it's Fiona from Sew Girl here. I just want to wish everybody at Sewing Street, all the team and the viewers and everybody who's involved, a very, very happy Christmas and look forward to seeing you all in the new year.
Hi, I'm Sam from Adventures in Crafting, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, it's Mark from the Great British Sewing Bee here.
And I'm Clive, Mark's husband, also from Beautiful Design.
And we've just popped up to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year for 2021.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
And keep sewing.
Keep sewing.
Keep
and
sewing.
knitting and crochet.
And knitting and crochet.
And everything else you could do
and
with
crafting.
thread. Yeah. What else
and
can
eating
you do?
mince pies.
Oh yes, eating mince pies.
Yeah, mince pies.
Mince pies.
Ooh.
Hello, I'm Catherine Wright. I'm from Leicestershire Craft Centre, which is based in Market Harborough. I love all kinds of sewing, but probably my favourite thing to do is dressmaking. But I also teach patchwork and free motion embroidery and anything to do with textiles really. I love to have a go at felting and crochet and knitting and, oh, you name it, I'll have a go at it. So I started sewing when I was 7. My mum taught me to sew, and the very first thing I made was an apron. But I'm a terribly impatient person. I also just want to get on with the project. So I didn't wait for her to help me cut it out, and I cut it out myself, and I didn't know you had to have a seam allowance. So I made the world's smallest apron, and my mum still has it somewhere. Sewing tips, I would say, I teach a lot of people to sew, especially beginners, and I would say don't get disheartened, take your learning journey slowly. Don't expect to suddenly make a ball gown or suddenly make a king-size quilt. Build up your skills, you know, slowly. And I would also say that iron is your friend. Use your iron a lot. It makes your sewing look so much better. It helps you get things in place where you want it before you sew, and is a really handy thing to have.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Stuck for ideas for the perfect gift? Why not get them a gift card? You can buy Sewing Street and Yarn Lane gift cards loaded up with anything from £10 to £500. Shop our gift cards online at www.sewingstreet.com or www.yarnlane.com, or purchase them via our UK call centre on 0800 001 44 33.
Hello there, welcome back again. Right, this hour we're going to be looking at tools of the trade. So I'm going to start straight away with the scissors that you saw in the last hour actually, because these are ingenious. Didn't think so initially. I did think that was a bit silly having a tape measure stuck to your scissors, but it's actually really handy and it doesn't get in the way of your cutting techniques. They're just really useful. So there's your tape measure, look, right in the top. I lose so many of them. Well, they're there somewhere, but I've no idea where. But I just find these really handy to have. So you've got inches on the one side and centimetres on another, as you should have. Can't guarantee which colour you're going to get. So you can see here you've got kind of a red and a white. These are a grey and a white. But you know, it really doesn't matter. Now then, we're going to be in trouble now, because you see what it says on your screens here. Early bird special. So this was an introductory prize. You know when, when we say with early birds in the morning, it's for the day or until we sell out. And we actually had a meeting last week apparently to discuss this. And Hannah was she was told not to do it. You cannot carry early birds on for another day. She just doesn't care. She's done it anyway. So she's managed to get some more stock for you at the same price as the early bird. So they're just £11.99. That's such a good price for any pair of scissors, let alone ones like these. It is an introductory price, so it will be as long as we have the current stock that we have, or until Hannah gets the sack. Then they're nice and sharp as well. I need to cut some fabric down, so let me do a little bit of this. Sharp to the point, Jen. This is what I like about scissors, or a good pair of scissors, is being able to, oh yes, and be able to, oh yes, but to do this. I don't see the point, excuse the pun, in having a pair of scissors where you have to do a lot of that kind of action to cut through, where you're only using a little part of the blade to actually cut. I like a pair of scissors that I can use the whole length of the blade right up to the point, so I don't have to do the scissor action with my hands too often. But I also like a pair of scissors that I can snip tiny snips. So if I've got a 1/4 inch seam allowance and I need to snip into a curved area, then I can use the end of it, which is an awful lot more accurate than trying to go up to a seam with what may be the only sharp area of your scissors, which is normally around about there. So if I've got a particular line that I'm cutting up to, I can cut right up to that just using a tiny point to the scissors. And I think that's a sign of a really good pair of scissors. And they're a nice length as well. They're not the longest shears in the world, but you do get the use of the whole of the blade without having to open your hands too much. And I'm thinking they're quite ergonomic, so I would say that they would be ambidextrous. I know the blade's on a different side if you're left-handed, but at least it's comfortable. If you've ever tried using, so I bought a pair of left-handed scissors and I'm right-handed scissors, bought them by mistake. Actually hurt after a while, hurt my thumb. So if you're struggling and you love them, no reason why, no, I'm not very good at this. No reason why you couldn't. Yes, that's not the scissors' fault, that's just because oh look, I'm cutting zigzags. And remember, you've got the tape measure. That does slip out if you wanted to take it out for any reason, but it's just a handy place to have your tape measure right on the top there. So again, £11.99 is your price there. If you wanted one for paper, then I'd go for a couple of pairs and mark the ones that you're going to cut paper with, because we don't like to mix the twain mediums, do we? Now I cut that for a reason, didn't I? But that is a limited price, an introductory price, and Hannah's in big trouble. Big trouble. Oh, unless they all sell out. Apparently, if everything sells out, nobody really notices, so we can get away with it. If you'd like to save Hannah's job, please buy a pair of scissors. Only joking. Right, so that's those. While we're talking about trimming and cutting, oh, you're in trouble, Hannah. Baskets are being emptied. Right, I'm just going to sew a seam with this one, because we've got the electric seam rippers. So I want to show you how they work. The foot pedal's not plugged in, so we do that. So imagine I've sewn a wonky seam. I know you need a really good imagination to imagine that I'd sewn a wonky seam. Better stop that. But if my seam wasn't perfect, or I needed to unpick it, or even if I've got a seam that's over the top of a zip and I need to unpick it, then you could use your quick unpick. But I've lost it, so I can't use my quick unpick. I've got one in here. Quick unpicks tend to go blunt really quickly as well. Or you could use a sharp little pair of scissors and just make sure you don't actually catch the fabric as you're getting in there. Obviously I'd normally use a smaller pair than that. Or I've got, thank you, I've got my seam ripper, look. So if I just start that off, then that's what we do, isn't it? We sit and we do all of that. Or you can get your little shaver thing. You do need to get it started off, but then look, it snips through the stitches, but doesn't actually, open up. It doesn't actually damage the fabric. So just catch it at the end as you get going, and then just away you go. So it doesn't damage the fabric. I don't know how it knows, but it's literally just going through the stitches, look. I'm not having to find them. And it hasn't damaged the fabric whatsoever. It's an ingenious little tool. And it is something that you're going to use a lot. I think every one of us probably uses one of these as often we use as a sewing machine. But this makes it quicker and it makes it more accurate. And it actually makes it quite enjoyable as well. So it's £29.99. We do tend to sell out of this quite a lot. It is rechargeable. And again, I'm surprised you're still here, Hannah. We did sell out of it the other day, and it sold out completely, but Hannah put some to one side and didn't tell anybody that she'd done it. And she's apologising to the other shift, our other bubble. But it's good for you because we do actually have some in stock for you right now. So again, £29.99, completely rechargeable. What a great gift idea that would be. Yeah, we're down to 15 now. That's going to go again really quickly. If you missed out the other day, you can get hold of that right now, but please check out your baskets again because it's going to go very, very quickly. So if you want to order, again, number on your screen, 800 001 4433, or you can go to sewingstreet.com and place your order that way. And you can multi-order while we've got the stock as well. So if you think that would be nice for me and a friend, if you need one for your home studio and your she shed, then you could order a couple away as well. So... oh, only single figures now. So when everybody's checked out. So again, do be quick for that one. Never thought of doing this way. It's amazing. Is that this one, Elaine? Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's such a clever idea. It really is. And it comes in a little box with all of your, you've got a little cleaning brush and everything. Down to the last 10 now. You do have a charging a charging cable that comes with it as well, and all comes to you nicely boxed. So I'd be very pleased to receive that with a bow around it for my birthday. Thank you very much, but really, really useful. I think it's another one of those things, like the scissors with the tape measure. The first time you see it, you think, oh really? I've got a quick unpick that cost me pennies, why do I need this? But when you see or when you hear how those blades just glide through stitches without damaging fabric, I think it's quite amazing. And so do you. That's going to go. So, yep, you will need to unpick for a lot of different projects as well. If you're making Bargello, then part of that process is unpicking, isn't it? But with these are amazing little tools. They're one of the best things ever invented. But they do go blunt, and I have, particularly when you're unpicking over the top of a zip, I have occasionally caught the fabric, and then there's nothing you can do. You've got a hole in your fabric. This is about to sell out now. So well done for you to get hold of yours. Again, if you have it in your basket, go through to checkout because it may not be there by the time you get there. Right. We have a Sallieann glue pen. No, I was actually looking for the stool. I was going to sit down. This again is something that initially you may have thought was a little bit gimmicky. A glue pen, and you know, it's one of the most useful tools I have in my sewing box. The glue in here is specifically designed to work with fabric. Thank you, so nice here at Sewing Street. So it's not going to gunge up your needle whether you're hand sewing or whether you are machine sewing your fabric. I use this a lot for when I'm putting in zips. I don't have one with me at the moment, but I'll run a length or a little bit of glue along the edge of my fabric, and then if that was my zip, that goes right size together right there. And it's like a stick of pins, so that's going to hold it in place. If you leave it a few seconds, it becomes quite grippy. It's bright blue, but it dries clear. And if you do kind of over glue a particular area, you can wipe it with a damp cloth and it'll disappear as well. So for zips, absolutely perfect. The kind of things that you normally have to tack. I wouldn't sew a zip in around pins, because it's going to create wobbly stitches. So I'd normally pin, then hand tack, and then glue, and then remove the tacks. This is just, and then sew, remove the tacks. This just makes it so much easier. If you've got pieces of applique then you want to hold down, then this is going to be ideal for you as well. It does come with a refill, and we do have more refills available, so I'll just show you how that works. You need to twist the glue all the way out. Remember, this is refilling, so that would be empty by now. When you get down to the plastic end, you'll pull that out, and then you'll take the plastic end off this one, push that on, and then wind it back again. Oh no, that comes off. And then just wind it back in again, and it retracts inside like so. Always leave the lid on when you're finished with it, because they tend to go a little bit gloopy on the ends. And I tell you what, the pot that you've got left with there as well, perfect size to put old needles in before you throw them away. So don't throw that away, that's actually going to be really useful. If you are an English paper piecer, then you can use these instead of tacking. So as you're cutting out your card or your papers, you can simply fold this around. And can we do that? We can do that. Oh. We've got a bit of something. We have Cat Producer watching from home. Hi, Cat. Hannah says she's sorry that you sold out of the stitch remover and she'd hidden some. She's not really sorry at all. So let me cut a hexagon out of this. Oh, we do have EPP card, but I don't want to open it, so I've just used a piece of card. So that will do. So draw an accurate template. Use the proper card. You're going to get white, so you don't have to use a piece of packaging. Because this is not EPP paper, it's card, so you wouldn't normally do this. So you do that. Oh, we've got pre-cut hexagons as well, but I don't want to open the packet. And then I'll do that. And then I go round the edge like that. And then I'll squish it over, put a bit of glue on that bit of that on there, like that, bit of that on the corner, fold it over, bit of that, fold it over, and bit of that, fold it over, and you're covered. That is so much quicker than hand tacking, isn't it? I don't know what kind of shape that is, but it's an ish, I'd say, hexagon-ish. But perfect for English paper piecing. If that's the part of the paper piecing that you don't enjoy so much, all of the sewing before you start sewing together, then your glue pen's going to be ideal. You will need refills. There we go. So if I were you, I should pop some of these on your order as well. So it doesn't matter what colour these turn out as. I think they're probably all blue. Oh no, pink, blue and yellow. Because they dry clear anyway. So you've got 2, 4, 6 of the refills in there. Pop them on order at the same time. Remember, you're only paying 1 pp for the whole day today, or any other day here on Sewing Street. So those are just £6.99. You will run out of your glue, so it would be advisable to do these. Just translating what it says on the front here, it says glue fix. Oh no, I've got that. Glue fix sticks, fabric glue pen. Refills are sorted. On there? Yep. So again, £6.99 for those. Oh, this is the card that you will use to cut out your proper hexes with, not the ones that I cut out of a piece of packaging. There are 20 sheets in here in total. And that's only, are they £2.99? That's really good. And you've got any shape that you want in here as well. Now that's about the right weight, isn't it? What's this, about 160, I would say, GSM. So firm enough to keep the shape. Oh, it's 180 GSM. So firm enough to hold the shape, but fine enough that you can peel them out of your work without damaging them, because of course with your EPP shapes you can use them over and over again. So although you can buy pre-cut shapes, what if you're making a tessellating shape? Because you can English paper piece with the shape of owls or cats or lots of different shapes. So you can cut your own out of these in any shapes that you like. So again, £2.99 is your price for those. The pre-cut hexes, now these are 1-inch hexes, which means that that's the length of the side, not the length across, so they'll be 2 inches across, inch and a half, no, 2 inches across. And in here you have, how many bits have we got? There's 100 in there altogether. Now remember, these are reusable. So use after use after use. It doesn't matter if they become folded, and it doesn't matter if you have the little nicks in the sides of them. If you happen to stitch through them, it's not the end of the world. You can still reuse them. And those are only £5.99 for those 100. So those are going to last you time and time again. What I like to do is to leave all the pieces in as I'm working on a project until I've finished, and if I run out of, if I use up all of my 100, I'll take out the middle ones and then put those on the end and just keep going until the work's actually finished. And of course hexagons are the original and most favoured traditional shapes for paper piecing. So £5.99 for those. What else we got? Oh, now I've got something quite new for you here. This is a multi-purpose thing, which I've not seen before, but kind of makes sense. So, as you peel this off, it's actually all is a piece of plastic. What are you doing paying £5.99 for a piece of plastic? This is actually really useful. You can cut it to the shape of your ruler or your acrylic templates and use it on the back of them to stop them slipping. It doesn't have any sticky residue or anything. It just self-adheres to whatever it is you're using. I'd roll it up the wrong way a little bit. But you can also use it to make your own templates. So leave it stuck to its backing paper when you start. Give that a roll the wrong way to get it to lay a little bit flat, and then you can draw out the shape of your templates, no matter how intricate that is on the back, and cut them out, and then you've got a template that you can draw around. Or you can obviously trace with this because it's perfectly clear, so you don't need a light box to trace your design on there. And then when you cut out your shape, you can literally stick this like a sticker onto your fabric and then cut around it. So there's lots of different uses for it. So they're recommending that you're going to cut this 1/4 inch smaller than the size of your ruler if you're going to use it as a ruler grip, but it's an electrostatic sheet, so it uses static electricity to stick, so there's nothing sticky on here. It's not going to leave any residue on your fabrics or on your rulers or anything like that, and it's removable. So you can use your markers to cut your patterns out, you can use it to help stop your your rulers from sticking, and you've got quite a lot in there actually for your £5.99. So about 1/2 metre, so you've got a measurement on there. It is 31.75 centimetres by 91.4. 12.5 inches by a yard, to be exact. Oh, Margaret's asked a question about the temporary glue pen. Or was it on Facebook? Let me see if I can refresh. Where are you? Margaret. Is the glue temporary when using it for piecing, i.e. how difficult is it to remove the paper once you've finished the piecing, please? It is temporary, but if you try and remove it straight away, it is still a little bit tacky. So what I do is put a warm iron over the top and it melts it a bit. So when you've finished your work, warm iron, and then you can peel your fabric back really easily, and it's not like a Pritt stick. It is designed to be removable. Don't use anything like a Pritt stick or a paper glue with your fabrics. You're going to find it really difficult to sew through. But it's, yeah, Hannah Producer has used a Pritt stick and then realised what the difference is with a pen that's designed specifically for fabric and one that is designed specifically for paper. So yes, you can peel it away, Margaret. That's not a problem whatsoever. Oh, Michaela's a sleepyhead this morning. You've just got up. 10:20 in the morning. It's lunchtime now. The snow and the wind kept waking her up. Oh no. What's a devil to remove? Oh, the stitch remover. Yeah, I know. Angie bought the... Oh, that's a good idea. Angie bought the stitch remover and it works in embroidery machine stitches too. Lovely. Again, if you want to send me a message on Facebook, I'm here. On the TV page. Margaret uses it for millinery. She's a williner, Margaret is. For millinery. This is the Facebook page if you want to send me a message. It's Sewing Street TV. So any questions you have, I shall endeavour to answer. What else have we got here? We've got some grid papers. Is that those? Oh no. Is it over there? Oh, it's studio at sewingstreet.com. That's studio. Seamless. Who would know? Who would know? We have your quilter's graph paper for quilting and for papercraft. There you go, look. So if you want to do your own quilt designs, maybe that's going to be your New Year's resolution. Or your own block of the month of your own design. We've got 12-inch, 8-inch and 4-inch squares. There's 25 sheets there in total, but not just again for quilters. That could be for paper crafting as well. So they're all the same look, but. Or you can draw out your blocks and test the different colourways, so you can colour them in yourself on here, see what the blocks are going to look like. I'm flicking through this like every page is different, aren't I? They're all the same, but it's only £4.99, so that's such a great price for you as well. And it's 12 by 12, so it's a nice size too. What else are we doing? Who else have we got here? Margaret with a millinery. More eggs putting Christmas away. We have the Quilter's Bible. This is a really heavy book by Linda Clements. And literally, whenever you see a book with the word Bible, it's everything that you need to know. So working with fabrics, there's colour wheels taking you through all the tools that you need, different types of technology that you can use, and then moving on to your block design. See, this is where those grids are going to come in useful, aren't they? So using up your scraps to make quilts, that's what quilting is really, isn't it? But it's not just about quilts. You've got some smaller projects in here as well, so they're great places for beginner quilters to start with. So patchwork, a bit of Seminole patchwork there as well, patchwork with triangles, blocks with unusual shapes. Again, use that grid again to mark yours out. And then got a bit of hand sewing there, English paper piecing, using embellishments and different types of stitches on your sewing machine. Cathedral windows, that's a nice bag, isn't it? I like that. But it's jam-packed full. How to use your thrashing. How to use your sashing, not your thrashing. Honestly, Deborah this morning. Don't even talk about my shed of shame. Reverse applique, so there's applique designs in here as well, but a shadow applique, inlaid applique, bias strip. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Looks like stained glass windows. And again, taking you through all those different techniques as well. And it's only £15.99. So many different techniques. There could be a sash co in there, free motion. So if you're just starting out, or even if you're not, if you're stuck in a rut, if you're stuck in your stitching and ditching and you want to try something a little bit different, then I think this is going to be quite. That's a nice effect. Simple ruching set into patchwork blocks. How did you do that? Using shrinkable fabric. We ought to get some of that, you know. I'd love to try that technique. It's like an interfacing, I think, that you steam and it shrinks and wrinkles up all the fabric. So again, £15.98 is your price there. RRP £19.99. Always nice to see a bit of a reduction, isn't it? So, now then, we have waddings down here as well. They've made a nice comfy area for me down here if I want to have a little nap halfway through. So let's have a look what we have. Soundproofing. Where are we starting then? Let's start with a super soft toy filling that we have for you here, which is actually made from recycled bottles. Surprising, actually. You'd expect something made from plastic bottles to be quite scratchy. It isn't. It's incredibly soft, and it's made with spirals, so it's quite bouncy as well, all made in the UK as well, which is quite nice. But look, I used to be a plastic bottle. So if you're soft toy making, if you are doing a little bit of trapunto, then this is going to be ideal for you. And again, it's only £4.19, which is a great price as well. But it's nice, I think, isn't it, that we're doing our little bit. Small steps can make a big difference. So just by using something that's been recycled like this, and of course can carry on being recycled as well, I just think is a commendable thing to do. Good New Year's resolution, that, isn't it? Hannah was saying if you've got one of those vac form bags, if you're going to buy a lot of these, you can they've got holes in them, so you don't have to undo it to kind of suck all the air out, and you can squish them down then. That is a good idea. So yes, if you're making soft toys, you're going to use quite a few of those, I would imagine. Okay, what we're going to do next. Shall we get the big one out of the way? So this is the heirloom. This is cotton batting, and it is KRZW19. So we have 120 inches square of this one, which is a king size quilt. Of course, you don't have to use it as a king size quilt. If you wanted to make smaller projects with it, you've just got an awful lot of cotton batting, or as we say in the UK, it's wadding. It is actually a cotton mix, so you've got 80% long staple cotton fibres, 20% from polyester. I think the polycotton waddings are the best of both worlds because you've got the softness and the breathability of the cotton, but the polyester also helps to stop shrinkage as well. And you can use quite a long distance in between your quilting stitches with this one as well. Let me see how far that is, up to 3.5 inches apart. So you can quilt very close together, but if you wanted if you didn't want to cover the whole of your quilt or your project or your cushion cover, whatever you're making, with lots and lots of stitches, you can stitch 3.5 inches apart. So if you're just doing some cross-hatch stitching, it can be quite wide apart, which is quite good. So if you maybe bought one of the quilt top kits that we sell here on Sewing Street, then that's going to be ideal. Or if you just used a lot of wadding, I like to use wadding behind cushion covers. If I'm going to quilt into it, but it gives it a more luxurious feel. No reason why you can't use it for bag making as well. You'll have quite a soft bag, but if you're quilting the bag, that's going to be perfect for you. And the natural fibres like this are recommended for quilts that you're going to actually sleep under as well, because they're absorbent and breathable and comfortable. And of course, the cotton aspect means that it's got a thermal aspect as well. And it's a good weight on here as well, actually. And Hobbs They're one of the leaders. In fact, I think they are the leaders in the field, aren't they, as far as batting stroke wadding is concerned. So you get a huge amount there for your £37.99p. So 3.5 inches out. Oh, Kath sent a message. Bear with me, Kath, just a sec. I have to refresh. She said, my husband has been listening into you this morning. He thinks you are better than Test cricket commentators with how you can just keep talking. And you can see at the same time. Do you know, I don't do too much talking when I'm at home. I'll get home and my husband will say, have you had a good day? Wendy says, have you got the thingy that you turn fabric up to hem and then compress over without burning? Is it? Oh, the iron rulers. Then we're out of stock of those at the moment. They're the prim ones. Carol says, how do we send a photo to Yarn Lane this afternoon? She's got a photo of a shawl I've made. Oh, that'll be nice, Carol. It's studio@yarnlane.com. Easy as that. Christmas left Marilyn's house yesterday. Dining table's now ready for sewing machine again. Looking forward to spring now. Please let us be unlocked by then. Oh, I do hope so. Getting a bit fed up of being locked up. I think we all are. The cotton crib size. So again, same properties as the large. You've got exactly the same wadding, batting, 3.5 inches apart. You can quilt it. This is just a smaller size. So this one is 45 by 60 inches. So again, it doesn't have to be a 45 by 60 inch quilt. You can use this for smaller projects as well. And there's no reason also why you couldn't put 2 layers together if you wanted it to be a little bit thicker. Who would know? And again, that's just £10.99. Question coming in down here, and this is from Belinda, who says, hi, just wondered what's the best wadding to use to make plate cozies, to make them microwavable. Well, there are waddings that you can buy that have like a metal fibre in them that retain the heat. Don't use those in your microwave. There's no reason why you couldn't use this, and there's no reason why you couldn't use Thermalam, which we should have on the website, I think. Thermalam is a wadding. It feels like felt and it retains the heat, but it doesn't have the metal fibres in it, so that is probably going to be perfect for you. Or any of these that have got cotton in them are going to be fine as well, but as long as it doesn't have the metal running through it, there's going to be a lot of excitement in your microwave. And that's not a good thing. Huh? What are we doing next? We haven't finished yet. We have, is that the 80/20 one? That's a big one, isn't it? Oh, now then. Just a different brand. And this one you can stitch up to 25 inches apart. What's the fibre content of this one then? This is 80/20, so again it's a poly cotton. The 20 is always the poly, the 80 is the cotton. So same thing, just different brand. And you've got a huge size, so it's the queen size, this one, so it's not quite as big as the heirloom one, but you can stitch up to 10 inches apart with this one. So if you really didn't want to do an awful lot of quilting, then maybe this is the one to go for. And that is just £44.99. So again, 80% cotton, 20% polyester. So breathable, little shrinkage on this one, and nice and soft as well. So that's £44.99. We have polyesters as well. So this is another Hobbs poly down. So it feels, they feel incredibly soft. I think the polyester, sometimes polyester can feel a bit scratchy. Actually, I'm going to stick my head in this bag. It hasn't come to that. I'm going to stick my hand in the bag. I'm not pulling it all out, but I just want to. I know what that one feels like. Right, so polyester. Polyester, let's do it. This is crib size. It's actually quite a good size. So wall hangings, but it's 100% polyester, so it's washable. And it's not going to shrink. So if you are making something for, or something that needs to be washed a lot, I'm thinking, or play mat or something like that, something for children, then this is going to be ideal. To be honest, if I was making a quilt for a bed, then I'd go for the natural. It's a lot softer. But this is durable and it's washable and it's not going to shrink. So I'd say if it's not going to be something that you're going to cuddle, you know, go to bed with and have a cuddle. And you've got your fabric on top of there anyway, haven't you? But I'd use the natural if it's something like that, and I'd use this for something that needs to be washed a lot, because it's going to keep its shape really well as well. And you get a really big size there too. So it's nice to have a choice of all these different things though, isn't it? Polyester's had such a bad press over the years, and it's nothing like it used to be. So again, doesn't have the softness, more affordable, washable, non-shrinkable. It does have a nice loft as well, which is the thickness of the wadding. That went back in all right. And it's only £8.99 your price there, so 45 by 60 inches. I think you can quilt this quite wide as well, it doesn't say. Oh, you'd never know, look. Oh, up to 4 inches apart apparently. Can't see that. So, put back in there. And then we have the large polyester. So again, different brand with this one, but same kind of thing. This will stitch up to 10 inches apart, and it's a queen size again. Super soft wadding, but a massive piece there. So no reason why you can't use it for a quilt, that's entirely up to you. But polyester again tends to be an awful lot more affordable than the natural ones, so it's nice to provide you with a choice, isn't it? Tanya's asked what's the best wadding for a baby quilt. Do you know, let me just have a look at the packaging on this one, because I tend to go for natural, but I'd also go for one that is actually recommended for baby quilts. Doesn't say. So I wouldn't, I mean, a baby quilt as in something to decorate the bed with, something for them to cuddle, something for them to lie on. We don't recommend putting a quilt actually onto a cot or onto a baby in the bed. So decorative or play items we recommend. So I'd go for this one personally, but again, not for sleeping. And I'm sure you can actually buy wadding specifically for baby quilts, but we can't recommend that. That's entirely up to you, but we can't recommend that, I'm afraid. Yeah, babies and sleeping and cots and bumpers, it's all a bit of a minefield at the moment, isn't it? So all we can say is decorative and play mats, and then it's up to you as a responsible parent, isn't it? That's just being honest. Okay. Now we've got a little poly wadding. That's that one. So that's the 2 ounce, which is really lightweight. But again, for craft items, for wall hangings and things like that, that's going to be perfect for you. It's only £4.99, and that measures in at 40 inches square. So craft items, I'd say, for that one. No reason why you can't use that on bags as well, not just wall hangings and things like that. So £4.99 for that one. Didn't realise we had so many, you know, we've got loads of different waddings, haven't we? Oh, we've had a message from Melissa in Bridgnorth, and she says, oh, yesterday she married the love of her life. Oh, congratulations. And today I will be embroidering school uniforms. What uniforms? New uniforms, sorry. With my new name, because she works for the NHS. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations on your wedding, and thank you for working for the NHS. Oh, send pictures when you've done them, won't you? Julie says, what channel on TV is this, please? We're on 72 on Freeview, and 670 on Sky. Thank you, Julie. We aim to please. Any more on that? Oh, morning, Mary. What's the weather like where you are? Right, so that's that one. This one, on a kind of a different theme. This is Decoville. When things come up on the same page on the website, and this happens on a lot of places, and you see interfacing, stabilisers, waddings, battings, fleeces, foams, and it's a complete minefield. So it's quite nice to go through what we have available for you and tell you the difference between them and when you're going to use them. This is Decoville. It's quite stiff. It's single-sided fusible, so the shiny side is going to glue onto the wrong side of your fabric. So put your fabric on the top like this. This is for bag making, for box making, for things that you're making that you want to be sturdy and strong. Personally, I love the look of it. For a handbag or a tote bag, I'd go for a larger one. I think, to be honest, if you're making something tiny, if you're making a purse, I can find it quite tricky to turn inside out because it is very, very stiff. But it does give a lovely look to a handbag. It gives a very shop-bought finish to a bag. You've got quite a big sheet here for £7.99. If you are making a bag, and these are pre-cuts, aren't they? Yeah. So if you want to multi-order, they'll all be cut to this size and shape. That's about a metre square, isn't it? It's huge. A metre by 90, to be exact. Yeah, so I'd iron on the wrong, put your fabric wrong side down on top of this and iron through the fabric and then cut it out. But if you're making things like boxes, storage boxes with the lids maybe, and you want them to be strong and sturdy, foams work really well. Fleeces will give you a soft finish. This will give you a really sturdy finish. So it really does give a very professional look to whatever it is that you're making. And it's going to last you for ages as well. So that's £17.99. We also have an H640, which is this one. Now this is a Valaiseline fusible fleece. So very different. So this is pre-cut, so it's going to be a metre length. The knobbly bits on the one side are the glue, so that's going to adhere to the wrong side of your fabric. We have this in stock just as often as we can. It's used so often. It's about 1/8 of an inch in thickness, which means you can sew through it really easily. You don't need to trim it back into the seam allowance. You don't need a special needle or anything, but it will give a certain amount of firmness. I use this a lot for tote bags. Well, I want them to kind of stand alone, but I don't want them too stiff. I also use it like I would do with wadding to go behind the front of cushion covers if I'm going to quilt into it, or just to give them a little bit more of a firm feel. If you're making a bag and you're using your Decoville, but you want the flap on the bag to be a little bit softer, or I wouldn't use this for bag straps, but you can make the straps a little bit firmer with your fleece, then you can do. There is nothing wrong in mixing together either. No one's going to know what's on the inside of your bag or the inside of your project. So if you think, well, I love that, but I want it twice the thickness, put another layer on top. That's entirely up to you. If you wanted to use it in conjunction with a Decoville or with a foam, that again is entirely up to you. But this, I think, is probably our most popular fleece. It's polyester, it's washable. It doesn't tend to wrinkle. A lot of the time with these things, when you put your fabric on and you use a hot iron, the fabric can start to crinkle a little bit as the fleece shrinks. This doesn't, I find. If you start ironing in the centre and move out as you're ironing and give it a good old blast of steam. Not all waddings like steam. This does. However, it's about to sell out. Oh, and that's all. Hannah, you haven't hidden some for next week, have you? No, she hasn't hidden any of this. So until we get another delivery, that's all we've got at the moment. Oh, I bet we don't get any deliveries this week. I bet a lot of people are off work for the whole week. So that's a 1 metre piece. Again, that's going to go very shortly. I had a bag for it somewhere. We have patterns as well. I don't know what I've done with that. These are they. So first up we have a little sewing kit. So just your pattern, so you supply your fabrics and your waddings and everything. And we have a pink cushion, and you've got a little sewing folder to keep all of your pens and glues and clips and things like that, and a little thread catcher there as well. So it was demoed on the 22nd of December. So if you go back through our YouTube channel to that date, then you can see it being made. I'm not going to open all of them. I just want to show you what's inside this packaging when you get it home. So full instruction, what you're going to need for each piece. See, that's actually the block. It's really pretty, isn't it? So you're doing a bit of patchwork, you can quilt it if you like. Step-by-step instructions with diagrams as well. So you've got a nice little booklet there for £8.99 from Luorth Designs. Nice for beginners, that one as well, isn't it? And if you are sending a gift, it's kind of greetings card size. So you could probably get away with a large letter for that one. Post a lot of stuff out. Then let's move on to the Wildflower Meadow. So this is all the same designer. So this is a pattern to create that design, which is really pretty. So if you've got your fat quarters from the first show, then that's going to be ideal for you. If you've got some scraps that you don't know what to do with them, if you're a beginner sewer, and of course you don't have to make a quilt, that could be the front of a cushion cover or a table runner. So you learn the design, you've got the pattern, and you can make whatever you like out of it. And then we've got more. Cortina, do you wash the wadding before you sew? Personally, no. Have a look at the instructions when you get it home. I don't think it needs washing a lot of the time. Maybe if you're using one of the natural fibres and you are concerned about shrinking, then yes. Sometimes if you're making a quilt, it's quite nice for it to shrink because it gives like a vintage look to it. Or if you don't want to wash it all, because it can take an age to dry, give it a blast of hot steam from your iron. So just go over it with that. And if it is going to shrink, it'll probably shrink then. What is the felt you have on the table? I'm going through patterns, Shirley. You're going to have to wait. I'll have a look in a minute. This is vintage tiles. Sorry, that was Shirley. Vintage tiles. It's a nice design. It's nice to see a pattern, isn't it, without being an actual project. So you've got the technique, you've got the pattern and the sizes, and then you can make what you like out of it. So a big or a floor cushion would be nice, wouldn't it? You could join them all together and make a bed runner. Any fabrics you like, that's a nice thing. Then we have city lights. So all different patterns. And yeah, get these home so you've got something to do when we're not allowed out anymore. So that again, £8.99. And then finally we have Charmed, which is again £8.99. Right, shall we have a look at this felt for Shirley? Have a look at that one first, Shirl. So can I open this? So it's properly sealed, so I shan't open it. This is it's synthetic, isn't it? Is it synthetic? Oh no, it's wool. Well, there you go. Normally at £29.99. You don't expect that. So it's a wool blend. 70% viscose and 30% wool. So in other words, it's all natural. Viscose is made from wood pulp. So you've got a very, very natural, breathable felt. So £29.99 for all of those, 50 pieces in total, and they're measuring in at 20, what was it? 22 by 20 centimetres. They're square.
22 by 22, sorry.
22 by 22 square centimetres. What's that in inches then? Let's measure that in inches. I had a pair of scissors with a tape. Oh, there we go. Probably says on the screen, I can't see it. That would be 8.5 inches square. But every colour you could possibly imagine. Look at those. You've got the dark greens, there's Christmassy colours, natural colours, which are great if you're going to make felt animals, the blues and the greens if you're making scenery, lots of different colours of those. So you've got, and you can use these with your felting machine as well. If you've got your own embellishing machine, then these would be perfect. So the blue of the skies. Mary says they'd be great for making animals as well. I think you're right, because you've got the browns and the greys and the dark browns and the paler colours as well. So most animals are brown and greys, I suppose. Mind you, have to hide in the wild, don't they? Apart from pheasant. So £29.99 is your price for all of those, 50 in total. And then Shirley, we've got these this roll as well. Then we're calling it autumn. But it's very natural, isn't it? It doesn't have to be autumn, because I'm looking at some of these colours thinking sunrise, sunset, landscape, fiery colours. Oh, I'm thinking tequila sunrise. Is that wrong at 10 to 11 in the morning? Is that all right? Well, it is a bank holiday, isn't it? So again, there's a £19.49. I think you've got another blend for these. And how many sheets have we got there? 20 pieces in total, but they all blend really nicely. And again, if you do have your felting machine, you'd be able to make some lovely scenery from those, wouldn't you? Right, so that's that. Hope that you want to see anything else, come and let me know. If you spotted something, then come and let me know. How thick is the felt? Oh, this one's really thin. I'd say a 1/16 of an inch for that one, and that one I would say an 1/8 of an inch. We've got another one, haven't we? Whoops. We've got a bundle of summer. I like a bundle of summer. So all the bright colours, look at the colours on those. Oh, I like that. So these are quite neon, aren't they? The greens, limes, lemons, limes and lemons. We've got gorgeous pinks there. Nice for toy making, little felt decorations. If you're teaching children how to sew, then I've actually got quite a few projects on YouTube specifically aimed at teaching children to sew, and at the moment it's all, well, most of them are using felt because it doesn't fray, you don't have to hem it, it's nice to work with because it's nice and soft as well, and you can create some really fun items with it too. So if you're teaching kids, get yourself a bundle of this. And then we're making stuff, pencil cases and all kinds of things in no time. And again, that's £19.49 is your price there. Oh, Mary moaning again. Open up so I can order and ship to the USA. You're allowed to moan, Mary. We can all have a moan. I would shut down with miles of lorries at the docks and everything. Are they moving, by the way? Are those guys actually going home now? Anyway. What did I do with my scissors with the tape measure? Sold out, I'm afraid. I'm glad you bought these because this it was hanging in the balance whether Hannah had a job or not. Was it with these? Or was that the snippers? Oh, it's these, wasn't it? Yeah. So well done for getting hold of those. We'll try and get some more back in stock for you, but they have now sold out. What else have we got? And we've got loads. I love a show with loads of stuff. Lots of stuff to look through. We have some. Oh, that's the bag for that. There you go. Ironing and cutting boards. These are really handy. I get a lot of questions about the one that I use. We've got the spots. I'll try and open that one, but I'll open this one to show you what's on the inside because they're just the same. So in here, you've got your little cutting mat. And that is in inches, 45, 60 degree markings on there. And then on this side, you've got something that feels like sandpaper. You could probably do your nails on that, but it's actually designed to hold your fabric pieces in place. So if you're arranging your fabric pieces for a block that you're making up, so it could be something like that. I didn't cut the triangles. I know they're not triangles. So you could do that and that and that. So I thought, well, that looks nice. I'll put that to one side, but normally when you lift that up, it's going to slide all over the place. It doesn't, it grips onto this one. And if you're going to come back to that another day, simply cover it over with the cover, close the thing, and then it's going to stay where it is no matter what you do with it. So when you come back to it, still in the same place. And the outside of the whole thing is an ironing board, and it's padded as well, so you can pin into it, and that's on both sides. So you could, if you're not using that for your patchwork, open that right up, and apart from the spine, you've got quite a large ironing area as well. So that's really nice to have at the side of your sewing machine. Look, I flicked all of those off after saying that they stick now. Didn't close it properly, did I? So that's the polka dot. This is I like that one. That's really different, isn't it? So we've got little roses on this one. And the flowers, just really pretty, and it's nicely packaged as well, isn't it? So if you are giving that as a gift, you can never have too many. And again, it's just £14.99. Right, where are we? Almost out of time, that's where we are. Anything else that you like or your little heart desires, have a look on the website on sewingstreet.com. Sallieann's going to be back again with Creative Grid's Cat's Cradle in the next hour. So I think it might be coffee time again. I'll see you again in a couple of minutes.
Hi, I'm Helen from Woolly Chic, and I'd like to wish everyone at Yarn Lane and Sewing Street a very happy, healthy and creative Christmas.
I want to thank you all for your incredible support this year on Yarn Lane, and also to wish you the merriest, the craftiest Christmas ever. And of course, a wonderful Happy New Year. Fingers crossed it's a lot better than this one.
Hello everyone, it's Cara here. I just wanted to come along and say Happy Christmas to you all. Thank you so much for everything in 2020 and for sewing along with us. We really hope you have a happy Christmas, a safe Christmas and a healthy 2021. Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Alison Marion and I'm thrilled to be joining the Sewing Street family. I live in Staffordshire where I run a couple of sewing groups, and I have a passion for vintage sewing machines and also applique. I've stitched in some form for as long as I can remember, but I absolutely love teaching and helping people stretch their skills and hopefully demystifying some of the techniques that can be quite daunting for beginners. So I'm looking forward to meeting the team and getting into the studio. See you soon.
Stuck for ideas for the perfect gift? Why not get them a gift card? You can buy Sewing Street and Yarn Lane gift cards loaded up with anything from £10 to £500. Shop our gift cards online at www.sewingstreet.com or www.yarnlane.com, or purchase them via our UK call centre on 0800 001 44 33.
Hi, I'm Claire from Knitted Critters, and we would like to say Merry Christmas to everyone at Sewing Street and Yarn Lane.
Hi everyone, Delphine here. Just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I've had a fantastic year here at Sewing Street, and I can't wait for 2021 to bring you lots of new projects. I can't wait to see what you've been doing. Anyway, have a fantastic Christmas and a great new year, and I'll see you soon.
Hello, I'm Susie Duncan, and I'd like to wish all of the Sewing Street family a very happy Christmas, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the new year.
Hello, I'm Emma Bradford. I just want to wish everybody at Sewing Street and at Yarn Lane a very happy Christmas.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness, and I'd like to wish everybody from the Sewing Street family a very Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Lots of love, Kerry.
Stuck for ideas for the perfect gift? Why not get them a gift card? You can buy Sewing Street and Yarn Lane gift cards loaded up with anything from £10 to £500. Shop our gift cards online at www.sewingstreet.com or www.yarnlane.com, or purchase them via our UK call centre on 0800 001 44 33.
Hi, I've been asked to do a little bit of an introduction about me, so here goes for Sewing Street. I'm Sallieann Harrison. I'm based in the UK in Bristol. I lived here all my life, apart from a short stint in North Carolina where I lived for 3 years from 2000 to 2003. I specialise in patchwork and quilting. I am a complete patchwork and quilting addict. I love small piecing, I love wool applique, all forms of applique, and I also like making small little crafty projects. How did I get into sewing? Well, I've sewn all my life. I remember the first thing I ever made was like a little bikini top from one of my mother's old overalls when I was about 9. I got married when I was about 20, 21 and started making curtains at that time. So I was a curtain maker for a long period of time. But it was in 2000 when I moved to the US that I really got into quilting big time. I discovered a local patchwork and quilting store. I took classes. I made loads of quilts. I made some fantastic friends. I met a great tutor called Michelle May. And by the time I left, I was actually beginning to exhibit in 2003. So that's how I got into doing what I do. Tell us something unexpected about yourself. Well, one of the strange things about me is that I'm the world's worst knitter. I can do most crafts. I crochet, I do punch needle, I do obviously patchwork and quilting and dressmaking, but knitting, the pins go in all sorts of weird directions. I have to concentrate. If anybody rings the doorbell, I can't stop mid-row. I am the world's worst knitter. Sewing tips to share with viewers. It's got to be the beard trimmer trick. I mean, why use an unpicker when you can use a beard trimmer to take out the seams that you've sewn incorrectly? It's just the best tip ever, I reckon. And a claim to fame. Probably my claim to fame based on my sewing career was that in 2017 I was invited to the Houston Quilt Festival, the International Quilt Festival, and it was there that I demonstrated some wool applique. It was a fantastic experience, and if anyone's debating going to the International Quilt Festival next year, go. It is absolutely fabulous. And that's a bit about me. Thank you very much for listening.
Hello there, welcome back again. I've got Sallieann with me again in this hour. This is the last of our sewing shows today. We're going on to knitting shawls in the next hour. But we've put together some fabulous bundles for you to use if you wanted to with your Creative Grids rulers. I think these things are so clever, you know. After spending most of the time when I started learning patchwork, measuring and cutting by hand, and then you see these and you think, oh, it makes everything so accurate, particularly when you've got, well, it is all specific shapes, isn't it, when you're patchworking. These are called a cat's cradle. The thing with Creative Grids is that they have these dots on them, if you haven't seen the rulers before, which are non-slip. But the other thing that I like about the rulers is the fact that you have a QR code on the front of them, which if you've got a newer smartphone, you can take a picture of it and it'll ask if you want to go directly to the video. If you have an older smartphone, you may need to download a QR scanner. Don't pay for one. That'll take you to a video. So you've got ideas on how to actually use these. And if you don't have a smartphone or a tablet or the ability to use a QR code, if you go to the Creative Grids channel on YouTube, you will find instructions on how to use every one of the rulers and templates that they bring you. And I love that. It's nice. You know, it's one thing to buy a ruler and read instructions, but it's another to be shown how these actually work. So it's £21.99. All of your cutting instructions are actually on here as well, so you're not going to lose them. And Sallieann's going to be talking us through how you use them and giving us examples of what you can make with them shortly. So that's £21.99. Or you can go larger. So this is the XL, same design but bigger. And this one is £26.49 is the price for that one. So again, works in just the same way. You've still got your QR code, you've still got your grippy bits, all your measurements, everything on the ruler, so you're not going to lose it as well. So we'll have a look at that again in just a second. But we have put some bundles of fabric together for you, and we've got a couple that you haven't seen before. So should we start with brand new bundles? Tula Pink Flamingos. And we've put it with a metre of white fabric as well. So if you do want to make a quilt, then you've got your backing fabric already there for a smaller quilt. So with your fat quarters, let me open this up and show you what you get. Because there's loads. Now it's still something new as well, you haven't seen before, isn't it? So I shan't open them all the way up because it takes me ages to fold them back again. Look, we've got little swallows on this one. Isn't that so pretty? It's quite ethereal, isn't it? With the stars and the sun shapes as well. And then we've got the hexes. And then that's like a skeleton of flowers on pink. Bright and bold stripes. More hexagons. You've got 16 pieces here altogether. There's the spots. What are those stone called? Geos, aren't they? Looks like you've cut a geo in half. And more stripes. Spots. And then the silhouettes. Stripes. Spots. Whether you're using the rulers, whether you're going to do this project or not, you've just got a lovely bundle of bright, happy coloured fabric to enjoy using for whatever it is for £72.99, and that's brand new for you today. But we've got a couple of news. I'll do that in a minute. Or we can go for the orange, which Chula has called goldfish. And again, we've got a metre of white, so that'll go a little bit further. First time on air for this one too. So you've got the same designs, but this time in gorgeous pinks and peachy colours. Unusual, aren't they? It's nice to see something a little bit different. Spots and stripes and swallows and hexes and flowers and geos and polkas. So all of those again with your metre of white for £72.99. So careful not to get those mixed up. And we have another bundle for you which doesn't come with the white fabric this time. You may have seen this one before, it has been on before. So I shan't open it all up. You've got the same prints, but again, different colours in this one. So you've still got, is that a starling? Oh, they're calling the whole thing starling. So you've got the same print, but different colours. So this one actually came back into stock before the others arrived, so that's why we haven't bundled this with the white fabric. Oh, that reminds me of school ties. We're limited on this one, over 90% of the stock sold out. So spots, hexagons, a lovely little bundle for £69.99. So 16 fat quarters in that one altogether. So that's 4 metres of fabric you're getting there. Right, that's that, that's that. Are we up to date here really quickly? Any questions you have, by the way? Oh, Mary's drooling. Hi, Nita, I'm good, thank you. Hopefully you are too. Right, what are we going to make then, Sallieann?
We're going to play around with the cat's cradle tool.
Oh, we do have a photograph of what the quilt could look like. Shall we have a look at that first of all?
Okay.
There you go.
So, yeah, those are 2 different samples, and I'll show you them as I go along. One's using the big tool, and the other one's using the smaller tool.
But the same tool makes 2 very completely different designs.
So, yeah, there's an addition. I've added an extra piece with the bigger tool.
Oh, okay.
It will become clear, hopefully.
But we're starting with the small one then.
We're starting with the small, and Creative Grids, fabulous rulers, you know, comes with all the instructions. And the other thing I like about it is the sizes for you to cut out are also printed on the number of times, you know, I've actually lost the instructions and thought, how do I use this ruler? It's all actually printed on there, so it tells you what to cut. So we're going to have a go at making the cat's cradle 4-inch block. I don't know if you can see, which is this one on the tool. So its finished size is 4, so its cut size is 4.5. And it tells you to cut 2 2¾ inch squares, which are these, which I've cut out of the pack. 2 2¾ by 3¾ which is this lovely peach. I love that peach. And 1 5 by 6.
Right.
Okay.
Is that quite easy to follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the instructions, it tells you how to join them up. You just follow it through step by step. So I'm going to start off by joining my yellow pieces to my peachy coloured pieces with a 1/4 inch seam. And I'm going to be very gentle with this machine. Hopefully don't ruin it. Okay, so this is just a 1/4 inch. One.
Did you see the video that comes with these as well?
No, yes, I did. Yeah, I went. You can, because it's on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you can sort of scan it as well, can't you?
Yes.
You can do that.
Yeah, you've got your car scanner. Yeah. I think that's just such a lovely idea. It's a lot of us aren't very good at following written instructions, so to see it, you know, you demonstrated these in the videos are really helpful.
Okay. Question is, have I got enough room?
Just have a quick look at the ruler while it's there as well. There you go. That's so you can see how clear it actually is. So your instructions, you know, they're all readable. It's very understandable. I don't think that looks confusing at all. I think some rulers do. They can be quite baffling, but this is quite simple.
So I'm just ironing it to one side, and it tells you which way to iron. So you iron it towards the bigger piece of the two.
Right.
And then I'm just going to join the two together.
Quarter of an inch seam allowance again?
Yep.
What stitch length do you normally use when you...
I usually use about like a 2.4.
Right. That tends to be default on a lot of sewing machines, doesn't it? What machine do you have at home? What machine do you use, Sallieann?
I've got a Juki, which I use a lot of the time, and I've
Have
also
you?
got a Bernina as well.
I've never used a Bernina.
Right, scissors.
That's a handy bag.
Yeah, it's all in there. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually place a little snip in the middle, and it tells you to do this in the instructions. It helps it lie flat, so I'm going to press that one down that way. See that? And then that one up that way. So in other words, I've pressed it away from the smaller square.
Right, okay.
With a little, am I in the right place? I always get told off for being in the wrong place. Little clip in the middle.
No,
Can you see that?
We're good.
Okay. Then you just put it right sides together with your other piece. Let's put some pins in this, I think.
So does that make it less bulky?
Yes.
Okay. That's a nice little tip, actually, that one, isn't it?
Yeah. Now you can actually draw. So I've got a Frickson pen.
Oh, Faye wants a bit of advice.
Mm-hmm.
She's new to sewing in 2021 and would like to learn to do some patchwork, quilting. What's the best tools that she needs to start with? What would you recommend? Rotary cutter, ruler and mat.
Yep.
Sewing machine.
And a basic sewing machine. You don't need one with bells and whistles. We
No,
really
you
don't.
need a straight stitch, don't you?
Yeah, just a straight stitch, really.
Good pair of scissors.
Yeah.
That's all you need to get started, really, isn't it? So obviously your fabric and your thread. And a few demonstrations on YouTube when you look at the Sewing Street channel on there. Lots of advice on there.
So I'm just using the tool to actually, so it tells you to place it on the seam line, on the squares of the seam line, and then you just mark in a stitching line. Okay, remember I've got them right sides together. So you could do this with a pencil, a Sallieann pencil, or
We had a question from Carol as well, so saying it's probably a beginner's thing, but how do you use the actual square to cut out? You'd just use your rotary cutter, wouldn't you?
Yes. Putting a few pins in this to stop it going walkabout. And then I'm going to sew on the lines that I put in with the ruler.
Okay. So you're going straight down the middle?
I'm going on the lines that I've put in with the ruler.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, with blocks like this, could you do them without a template? I would imagine a lot of maths and working out.
Yeah, with some maths, you could. But it's quite fabric efficient as well, this method.
Is it?
Yeah, you don't lose a lot.
We like to be frugal with our fabrics, don't we?
And you see that you actually go right the way through the apex each time. You can probably see because I've used a red thread. So you're getting right into that point, which gives you a nice sharp point, the edge of that square.
Okay.
Okay.
So what would be the largest size of block that you could make with this?
So with this
it's
one,
quite a big
you get a 4-inch finished block, but you get 2. I'm going to get 2 out of this.
Okay. So then you could just keep going as long as you like if you wanted to make a quilt.
Yeah.
Or maybe a bag or a cushion cover if you wanted a smaller project.
Yep. So I'm lining up the 1/4-inch seam allowance with the line of red stitching that I've just put in. I'm just going to trim it off there. I'm going to do the same the other side. You generally end up taking like a little piece out of the middle.
Right.
Because it doesn't come out sort of bang on 1/4. It's probably because of the way I've sewn it. But, well, saying that, when I was doing it at home, I didn't get it to come out bang on 1/4 either. So just trimming it back to 1/4. Okay. So you're just going to set the seam.
Do you normally press with steam or without steam when you're doing this?
I'm not really a big steam fan.
You're not?
No. But I think, are you?
It depends what I'm doing. If I'm dressmaking, I do.
Yeah.
If I'm patchworking, no. I don't know why. Just the way it was taught, I suppose. Aren't they pretty colours?
Yeah, they're really good. Okay, now go back to my favourite gadget, the spinning mat. So I put this down here.
Do you know, I'm looking at these colours thinking Easter. This is the goldfish bundle. But it kind of looks Eastery to me, I don't know why. We're doing Christmas as Easter, I think, this year or next year. We're going to have Easter stockings and Easter decorations and Easter trees, and hopefully we'll be a lot better by then and we can make up for the Christmas that we didn't have this year.
All right, so to finish your block off, you're just going to square it up. So this is a 4-inch block, so I've actually got it, I don't know if you can see, on the 4-inch finished.
Right.
And you line up your square with the corner.
So that will be a little bit too big to
Yes.
allow you to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's turn it around the other way.
So if you make it a larger quilt, would you personally cut out all of your pieces first and then sew them all together? Or do you do each individual piece, then move on to the next one? How does it work for you?
I tend to make one block first.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Sort of, it's almost like I don't believe the instructions are going to work. So it's like, okay, I'm going to test it first before I make hundreds.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So yeah, you can see I've got the the diagonal on the diagonal of my block and the 4-inch size going across. So just going to square that.
So have you got any New Year's resolutions?
No, not yet. One of the things my gran used to do is always put your money out. Have you come across that one before?
No.
Yeah, she said you put your money outside your front door, like under a flower pot or something. And yeah, it's meant to mean that you're sort of in money throughout the whole year. So I must admit, I do put my money out. But I mean, I've never had a big windfall, but yeah.
And where do you put the money? which plant pot is it under?
Right. Why is it you never really get that top corner, do you? It's to do with the way you hold the rotary cutter, isn't it? That you always, it's difficult to get that top.
Yeah, yeah.
Spin it instead.
I see why you like your spinning mat there.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Do you have favourite colours to work with?
Tend to be blues.
Do you?
Blues all the time. Okay, so there's 2. I'm going to make another 2 exactly the same, so I'm just going to repeat the process, and then I'm going to show you different things that you can do with them.
Okay.
So just bear with me whilst I make the next pair.
Right here. Let me give you a recap while you're just sorting those out of the Tula bundles, because we've got 2 brand new ones. So this one is your flamingo. I'm not taking them out again. Rewind if you want to see them all individually. So first time we've ever brought you these as a fat quarter bundle, and with the white fabric as well. You're getting a metre of white fabric for $72.99, and I just loved the colours. This is something that Tula Pink's famed for, isn't it? Lovely bright colours, original designs, really pretty coordinating fabrics in bright and bold and corals and pinks. We've got spots, we've got stripes, we've got polkas, we've got swallows and flowers. So we've got so many different, I love that one. The 2 colours together are lovely, aren't they? The kind of the teal and the pink colours. So again, you don't have to be using this with the rulers. It could be for a completely different project. But it's just nice if you're stash building, shall we say, to have something so exquisite as these. For £72.99, that is your flamingo, pink flamingo. And then we have goldfish. Again, this has got the white fabric with it. So I think it's been your favourite so far. But aren't they pretty colours? So we've got peach, I might say jelly. I don't know, it's really pretty pastels and oranges, but then there's a few bolds as well. And going on to limes. They just work so well together, but unusual. It's nice to have something a little bit different, isn't it? And again, that's £72.99. So you've got your 16 fat quarters and your metre of white fabric for £72.99, all Tula Pink, brand new today. And then the one that you may have seen before. So we didn't have time to bundle this one with anything else because it came in a bit early. And this one is the Starling. But we've only got 7 of these left, going really, really quickly for these ones. So if you want it, I'd be rather sharpish for this one. It's £69.99, and again, you've got 16 pieces, so you've got 4 metres of Tula Pink fabric in total for £69.99. There you go. So what are you going to make? Come and let us know.
You can't look at that fabric without smiling, can you?
No, it's lovely, isn't it? It's really uplifting. Nice to have the white in the bundle as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. They come together quite quickly, actually, don't they?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Let's put some pins in it, stop it going walkabouts.
So have you got any plans for New Year?
No, I tend to sort of stay in and not really do much so.
So no clubbing
A bit of
this
a,
year?
no clubbing. Can't ever remember.
Discotheques.
Discotheques. What about you? What do you do?
Nothing. I don't really do anything for New Year. I normally volunteer to work somewhere or just try and stay awake till midnight if I'm at home.
Oh, I generally give in and then wake up, and when you hear the fireworks, it's just like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's next year now. Oh, Joe Director's having a Zoom party. What a nice idea.
I haven't really done anything on it. Have you done anything on Zoom?
No.
No.
I've been in meetings in Zoom, but not
Yeah, I've not been brave enough. My son's been working from home, and he, a few times I've walked in on his Zoom meeting and really embarrassed him. Oh my God, go. And I go, Mother, lovely little meeting.
Bless him in his meeting.
I wasn't his best friend that day. No. Now he sort of announces it to the whole house. I am about to go into a meeting. I'm shutting the door. Okay.
So I normally get the dog barking or the postman knocking, or it's never quiet at our house.
So I'm just using the 1/4 inch. That one looks more like it's straight.
I love the way you chat to each other on Facebook and help each other out. It really gives a community kind of feeling to the channel, doesn't it? What a nice idea. Mary likes to eat dinner, watch TV, have a drink and go to bed. I think that's every night, not just this New Year. Remember in the millennium in 2000 was really interesting because they showed you, it kind of went around the world. Did you see that? So as every region, as every country was going into New Year, there was just live footage going all the way around the world of everybody celebrating.
No, I missed that.
You missed the millennium?
I did. Saying that, on the millennium, we were actually in the Lake District outside.
Really?
Yeah, watching the fireworks.
Oh, wow.
So that was one year when I didn't just go straight to bed.
That's 20 years ago.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it?
So your boys would have been babies?
Yeah. They're not babies now, they're men.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
quite terrifying. Have you got boys?
I've got 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 boys and a girl. 3 grown-up adults these days with children of their own.
You've got grandchildren there as well, haven't you?
I've got 3 grandchildren, yes.
I haven't got any grandchildren yet.
Oh.
I'm hoping for a girl.
Are you?
I am really overdue a girl.
2 boys. Oh. Yeah, I've got a 5-year-old granddaughter, a 3-year-old granddaughter, and a 2-month-old grandson. Is he 2 months now?
Wow.
Yeah. Little Finn.
Do you make stuff for them?
No.
No!
I know, dreadful. Dress-up outfits, it tends to be.
Yeah.
I did give them some handmade Christmas presents. Their gift wrap was all drawstring bags and zip pouches and things, and I made them both a little handbag. Because girls of 5 and 3 like to keep their makeup and jewellery in handbags, don't you? Oh, it's so funny. We saw some pictures of Beatrix, my eldest, wearing her makeup. Reapplying it all down until it...
Oh, bless her. Okay, right. Let's see what we can make with this then. So this is the same thing, just in a different colourway.
Okay.
So that is what I used to make that picture.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I just made one, and then I used like a layout tool and put it in there, and then you can probably
So that's
see it.
the...
So this is the one with which
On the
appears as a
right-hand
box.
side.
Yeah.
That's really effective, isn't it?
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I quite often do that. So you just make one block, photo it, you know, take a photo,
Yeah.
and then put it into a layout tool, and then you can rotate it and move it around and flip it and mirror it.
So what's a layout tool? It's like
It's like an app, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah. So and it gives you a good idea of what the quilt's going to look like in the end.
All right.
And there's only one problem. Sometimes I get so hooked on the layout tool that the quilt never happens because I've already seen what it's going to look like.
Yeah, a lovely picture of it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's some that I made earlier. Hopefully we can see if we can make it into a sort of star shape.
Oh, is that on there? There's not a picture of that, is there?
No.
Oh.
So
how big's the piece in the centre?
The right way. So the piece in the centre is 8.5, I think, because these are for each 4-inch finished.
Right. Okay. So I'm thinking as well, that was actually quite quick to make up those pieces, and that's a perfect size for a cushion cover, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's a good size for a cushion cover.
Yeah.
So you could have a plain centre like this, and you could do some applique,
Yeah.
or you could put an initial. That would be quite nice.
That's
I don't know,
nice
you are
idea.
my star, and you put their initial in the middle. That would work. So.
That is so effective.
So it would come out something like this. Okay.
And that's very different from the pictures that we've just seen as well, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's using that white, so, you know, it really stands out. I mean, you can imagine with those packs, you could make one star this colour, you could make one star another colour, and they're really going to stand out on that white. They're going to be really punchy.
Yeah, that would be great.
The other thing that I considered in the break was you could also use actually I might be able to, see what I'm getting? I'm trying to make a pinwheel, so you could almost pinwheel it too, is that right? I always get confused when I do pinwheels. Am I going the right way?
That's the one, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah. So you could create a pinwheel in the middle if you didn't want a blank middle.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shall I sew the pinwheel and then sew the rest of
please.
it together?
Yeah.
So I've got halfway with the pinwheel. So these are a white square that's 5 1/4 and a lime square that's 5 1/4. They'll make 2 half square triangle units, and I will trim them down to fit.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just do the same with this one. So this is a straightforward half square triangle unit.
Diane's just realised she's spent too much with Sewing Street this year. Using her Elna 680 Plus to make a log cabin quilt, had a few months so, first time using it properly, creative grid rulers, cave fabric, extra large cutting mat, ironing mat, iron and scissors, all bought this year. She says, oops.
Oops.
You need them. It's the tools of the trade. Got to be done. And then Maureen has 4 sons and one of them has 3 grandsons. So 3 children, all boys, so 3 grandsons. No chance of sewing for a girl. So you're still using the same ruler for this one, aren't you? The smaller one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to make a straightforward pinwheel to go in the middle.
Okay.
Layers of items going on here, haven't I? That's what I want to get back to.
Oh, the snow's disappeared from outside, by the way, Sallieann.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
It just looks a little bit wet and grey at the moment. Better than driving in snow, though. So how long does it take you to get here?
Oh, it took us 2 hours this morning. Usually it would take about an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
So even with half square triangles, there's so many different designs you can make just with that one shape, isn't there?
Yeah. Right. Get you out of the way. You in the middle. Okay.
So what size are they?
So I'm going to square these back to 4.5.
To 4.5, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've made them deliberately too big. So I can square them back and get them bang on.
I find it easier to do that.
Yeah, I do.
To make them a bit big. You could make a flying geese quilt, Mary, right? Has Stephanie joined us? Hello, Stephanie. She's only just found us, new to quilting, and she loves it. Welcome along. We'll have you hooked.
Yeah, this is a ruler that I use a lot, this 6.5.
Yeah.
Gets the most use. So yeah, going back to your person that said, buy yourself a 6.5. Rulers.
We've got the Creative Grids version on the website, actually.
Yeah. Gets a lot of use.
I think you tend to accumulate all of these different size rulers and tools, but you use them all, that's the thing.
Yeah, you do. It's surprising.
Yeah, I've got a little 4.5-inch square ruler that I never thought I'd use, but it's actually quite useful. I use it quite a lot. Stephanie says, I'm here. She's here. Hello, I'm here. Yeah. Was that meant for us?
Is this on Facebook that you're reading the messages from?
Yes.
Or? Yeah.
I love it. It's like having, 77 people with us at the moment, and it's just like having a room full of people all having a chat together. I love the Facebook messages. Try and read them all out. You can send a message on the website as well if you wanted to. You can send messages on YouTube as well, can't you?
Yes.
But we don't normally read them. Just being honest. We'll read them after. There's only so many questions you can read live in an hour, isn't there?
Right, you have to help me with this. Which way round do these things go? I always get confused. So I want you going that way. Yeah,
that's it.
Okay.
Well, now then, you've got 4 squares in the middle. Have you got any tips for lining up those points?
Tips for
you
lining?
You do it in rows, don't you?
I do, yeah. So I would assemble this in rows.
Yeah.
Going across this way. And then I would nest the seams and interlock them.
So that's pressing in different directions?
Yeah, so I might sort of press all the seams in the top row to the right, and then all the seams in the next row to the left, and then to the right and to the left, so that they all nest.
I tend as well to, I'll have that configuration at the side of my sewing machine, and I know you can chain piece, but I'll do 2 and then put it back just to make sure I'm getting everything in the right, and then another one and put it back again. And
yeah, that's exactly how I would do it. So I would start here and put that one to that one, and that one to that one, that one to that one, that one to that one. And I chain piece them all, and then I put them all back in position.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, and I'd open them up again, going along this way. So those would all be joined, and then I'd join that one to that one, that one to that one, and work my way down that row, that way, chain piecing them. Yeah, is that the way you do it?
I wouldn't have chain pieced them. I just get so nervous about, well, not nervous. There's nothing more disappointing than sewing a whole block together than realising the one in the middle is the wrong way round. So I'm just belt and braces to just in the two at a time and laying it out.
Check
then
it.
another two and lay it out. Yeah, check and double check.
Yeah.
That was really, really effective.
But yeah, that's a really great start, isn't it? So
really
that's
nice.
going to finish, what's that, 16?
Yeah.
So again, perfect for a cushion.
Yeah.
You could put a nice border on that, or you could do a flange, couldn't you?
That would look lovely.
Yeah, a deep, using one of the deep colours and
Yes.
a nice deep colour flange.
Yeah, I like that idea. Looks
Yeah.
really expensive as well.
And then you could quilt it. I mean, I would free motion quilt it probably in the white to make it recede so that the colours really do pop.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah, and then perhaps just in the ditch on these pieces. Yeah.
Do you free motion in the ditch? Or do you use your 1/4 inch foot?
Bit of both.
Do you?
Yeah, it depends how brave I'm feeling and how big it is. A smaller piece I feel quite confident with, but when you've got like a big quilt and you're attempting a straight line, you've got the weight of it.
Yes, of course.
So that sort of pulls you astray. Anyway, should we look at the bigger tool?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
A bit of a tidy up.
So that looks like it's got the same markings,
yep,
but a completely different shape.
But it is exactly the same. Believe it or not, it's just...
Oh, I see. So when you look
ruler.
at the actual packaging, it's the same image of the different blocks that you can make. So again, just different sizes with that one, isn't it?
So, here we go.
So this one's up to 8 inches finished block on that one. But again, you've got to, that's the one. That's but you do have all of the finished block size: 4.5, 5, 5.5, or 6, and how many pieces you need to cut to achieve those different sizes. I love the way that that's on the actual ruler as well,
Yes,
because
that's a really good
instructions do tend to get parted from tools, don't they, over the years?
Yeah. So this is the bigger tool. So I made two using the bigger tool, and these are the 8-inch blocks, I think. So this is the biggest size you can get. Yeah, so this is 8.5 raw edge.
Okay.
So it's exactly the same process using the same style ruler, although it looks different.
Okay.
The only difference is that in this one, I've added a corner. Can you see?
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
And that's an option. I mean, I could have added a corner with a smaller tool. That is just an optional thing that you can do when you get to the end. But you do that by just basically cutting. I won't, I'm flipping it back this way, but I'll show you when I make the yellowy. Was this the goldfish? No.
Yeah, goldfish.
Okay. So I don't know, have you got the picture? Do you want to find the picture of this one?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at that one.
So that is the really purple one. Can you see that? And that almost makes like a line, doesn't it? Because of that added corner. Can you see how the block goes? It almost makes a line of that purple hexagon print, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because it joins up with what is coming this way. There you go.
Because when you first look at the finished one, all you see is the stripe. You don't automatically look at, well, that's a half square triangle, and so is that one.
No.
And it's very clever design, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know what might look quite nice. I'm just playing with this now. You could, if you mirrored that across that way and that across that way, then you'd end up with like a little box in the middle with.
Yes.
Yeah, and that would look pretty cool, wouldn't it? Again, that would be a cushion size, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would work really well.
Anyway, but crack on. Okay, so this one I have cut. So I'm not going to make one 8 inches. I'm hoping to make one that's 6.5 inches from this tool.
Okay.
So I'm cut myself.
We've got about 10 minutes left, if that helps.
Okay. It's difficult to see the writing on. So this is a 6.5 inch finished block, and I've cut 2 4-inch squares, which are these two, and 2 4x5s, which are these two. And I've got a spare, which is going to be my corner, and I've got one background piece, which is 7.5 by 8.5. Yep. Okay. So same process, just join them using a 1/4 inch seam, right sides together.
So again, 1/4 inch seam allowance for everything. Yep. It's a good starting point, isn't it, for anybody that's new to patchwork and quilting, because you've got the template and you've got the video, and I think it's so nice when you make something for the first time and it looks really complicated. You're going to get lots of compliments.
Yeah. It's a good way of practicing your 1/4 inch as well. Right. Remember which way I'm pressing these now.
So they go to the larger side again, same as before. Okay. We've had a question from Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. Oh, she's down on the bottom. Is Sharon? She said, "Sorry, message went before I was finished." Oh. How do you manage fraying edges?
Fraying
You don't really finish seams on patchwork, do you?
Fraying edges. Just mean when you whereabouts in the.
Yeah, I'm assuming when you're sewing the pieces together, because if you were dressmaking, then you'd zigzag or pink or overlock or something like that. But you don't need to finish the edges when you're quilting, do you?
You tend to get frayed edges if you're actually off grain as well. So most patchwork pieces look a cut on the grain, straight grain, lengthwise grain, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's only when you start dressmaking, when you start putting the curves in, and that's when you begin to get a fray because you're on the bias.
Yes.
Yeah. So perhaps that's what she was.
But I suppose with patchwork, you're going to put a backing on it anyway, and you're going to quilt over the top, so that's going to, you know, even in the wash, prevent the seam from unravelling.
Okay. So same process, you just give it a little clip.
Oh, no name is messaged in.
Morning.
Having such a lovely morning. Both so calm and knowledgeable. Thank you.
Oh, thank
you. Send your name in, because that's really sweet of you. Thank you very much. No, that wasn't from me, being anonymous. We're great, we are.
Right.
So you're a dressmaker as well?
I wouldn't say I was a dressmaker. I make a few items of clothing, but I don't know whether dressmaker is a little bit strong.
See, if you'd have had girls, could be demonstrating something completely different today.
Exactly. So can you see that? It's the same, exactly the same principle. You place it on the seam line with the bigger ruler, and you're going to mark on the line of. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to try? I mean, do you knit and crochet or paper
I
craft?
crochet,
But
yesterday yesterday I noticed that loom knitting was on. I have never seen loom knitting.
Loom? No.
No. And then people were posting pictures of stuff that they've made loom. No. But saying that,
I'll have to look at that.
I do. Do you knit?
No.
No.
I can.
I can, but it's pain.
But
I'm like sort of going in all directions, you know. And if anybody comes to the door, I mean, I can't stop mid-row. You know, it'll all just fall apart. Yeah. So loom knitting is something that I saw, and I thought, perhaps I might be able to do that.
I'm going to have to look that up. I have no idea what what that might sound like, look like. Do you remember making things when you were little with a wooden bobbin with little nails in the end, and you'd wrap it round, and then a tail would come out the bottom of it?
Yeah, when they said loom knitting, I thought, well, do they mean that with the little doll? You know, but I think that's French knitting, isn't it?
Yes, yes, of course. Loom knitting. I'm going to Google in the break.
Well, is Yarn Lane on today?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the next hour, we're going to be making shawls.
Ooh.
Hand-dyed yarn from Yorkshire. We're going to be looking at.
Wow. Another thing I'd like to try is, you ever made buttons, polymer clay buttons?
No.
No, I'd like to do that. I haven't done that. I've got the clay. Bought some Fimo, I think it was.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I've never got round to it. You know, you bake them, don't you, in the oven?
Yes.
I thought, how cool would that be to make something and have your own handmade buttons on it?
That's a nice idea. And did you buy moulds for them then?
Sorry?
Do you buy a mould?
Fimo, you buy like clay.
But how do you make the button? Would you push it into a mould?
Yeah, and you can buy moulds and all sorts of stuff, or you can shape them.
Alex says loom knitting is fun and very easy. Not done any for ages though. I have a tiny rigid. She has a tiny rigid heddle loom. Does Alex?
Ooh.
Which she makes scarves with. I'd like to get a bigger one and make some of my own fabric for sewing. That would be brilliant. What a lovely idea. Oh, see you, Carol. Enjoy your lunch, won't you?
Right, getting there. So again, just trim it back to 1/4 of an inch. Oops.
So what kind of wadding would you normally use for quilting?
I tend to go cotton.
Do you?
All cotton. I'm a bit of an all cotton fan, and I like really thin loft.
Okay.
Yeah, because I like to go for like an old vintage sort of look. So yeah, I think that
So do you
works
get a
well
bit
for
of
me.
shrinkage with that?
Yeah, so I don't wash it, and I don't wash my fabrics. And once I've made my quilt, I dunk my quilt in cold water, and then I partially line dry it, and then I stick it in the tumble dryer, and it goes all crinkly.
I love that kind of look. Yeah.
Yeah, I do as well. I really love that because I like the texture that it gives.
I don't pre-wash very many fabrics at all these days. I think a lot of them, they don't need it, do they?
No. So I had one recently, and it was a red that ran. And, so annoying. Right, so there's those two. So I'm just going to trim them up.
Okay. We're almost out of time. Do you know when you're going to be back again?
I will be back on the 11th of January.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's next year, next week, isn't it? This year's gone quickly. Mind you, we're quite glad this year's gone quickly, I think. Do you want to come? Do you want to have a look what's coming up tomorrow? I was going to say what's coming up next door. Should we do it in a bit? We'll do it in a bit. All right. Might not tell you at all. And don't forget with Yarn Lane, we've got Yarn Lane coming up after the end of this hour. So if you're watching on TV, stay where you are. But if you're watching on Facebook, we need to change over, don't we? Right, you need to go to the Yarn Lane page and we'll start another video for it. Okay. Oh, and if you wanted to shop from Yarn Lane, you shop on yarnlane.com, not sewingstreet.com. But if you've already paid your P&P for Sewing Street, that carries on over onto Yarn Lane as well, so you still only pay $3.95 for the day. We're good to you like that. We're good to you.
Okay, so you can see what I've done. It's exactly the same process. This one's been trimmed up now to a 6.5, I think, inch block. This one hasn't. All you need to finish it off is a 3 3/4 inch square, which you then lay on that corner. So I'm just going to draw a line across it. So you simply just put it on top of what you've already sewn to create like a half square triangle unit in the corner. Now I'm going to pin this because it will really move around if you don't. So let's put a couple of pins. So I'm going to sew very slightly to the right of the line rather than straight on it.
Okay.
Just need that little bit of extra ease. Okay. Now I would iron it before I cut it away.
Right.
Because then you can pull it to that corner to try and keep it as square as possible.
Okay.
So. And then you just go behind there and cut that off. Oops. So effectively you've just inserted a half square triangle unit.
Yeah.
And the template's very clever, look, and it gives you exactly bang on a 1/4 inch there.
Right.
So you get a nice accurate piece.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And then you can have a play with them and arrange in different designs.
Arrange them in different designs as you like, yeah.
Fabulous. Oh.
Lovely.
Well, thank you very much. Don't forget to check out on your fabric bundles and on your rulers if you're ordering on the website, because we're about to go from this channel right now. So we'll see you again on the 11th. Thank you very much. You've had a really nice, calm, informative morning this morning.
Good, and me.
So you have a safe drive home. I think you're going to be safe snow-wise.
Good, good.
In the next hour, we're going to be meeting Nicola on Yarn Lane for an hour, and we're going to be talking shawls. So coming up tomorrow, we have at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's that naked lighting again, late. Native lighting at 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, it's the door tidy. We've got Angela Presley in the house. At 10 o'clock, there's sewing room tools. I'm down with the kids. Sewing room tools. I'd really embarrass my daughter when I talk like that. And at 11 o'clock, bubble pods with Angela Presley again, and we've got sewing machines at 12 o'clock tomorrow. So that's what's coming up over the next 24 hours. So that's it with sewing for us today, but do stay with us for a bit of knitting if you're in the mood. If you're popping off now, I'll see you again bright and early on Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. If you're staying with us, pop over to Yarn Lane and we'll see you there in about 3 minutes' time.